Hi, I'm Ree from mummyof4.com. Welcome back to my channel and this speed cleaning marathon, which hopefully will give you some motivation to clean and tidy your own house. I know we could all do with a bit of that every now and again. This video is a compilation of various speed cleans, most of which were power hours. So leave the video on, clean along with me, and let's get started. So this is being filmed during lockdown 2021, where we're also trying to homeschool and work from home and do all the things. So this video I've just filmed all the little jobs I fit in between all the other things I do. So my very first job is to sort laundry. We are a family of 6. Yes, I have 4 children, so we have a lot of laundry. That is my youngest, Zara, and she is helping me because I do try and get the children to help me out as much as possible because it teaches them valuable life skills, and some of their activities as part of homeschool are things like sorting laundry, sorting into light and dark colours. That's what we were just doing. So we've got some Unstoppables into the laundry. Sometimes I forget to put those in first, if I'm honest, but I have remembered this time. Zara is helping me. Look how pleased she is. She just doesn't care what we're doing as long as we're doing it together. So that's the first load in. Gonna get some Method laundry detergent in and a little bit of softener too, and that's just going on like a light quick load, quick wash, and then we will get some more on soon, in no time at all. Next job is to sort some dry clean washing, and Zara has quite liked recently folding things. She's quite enjoying folding cloths. So we do use those microfiber cloths for a lot of cleaning, as you will see in the rest of this video and in a lot of my speed cleaning videos. I used to use, years ago, lots of kitchen roll, and obviously that's not very environmentally friendly. It doesn't work out as cost effective. So we switched to these microfiber cloths and I haven't looked back. As long as you look after the cloths by not washing them in softener, because then it stops them being absorbent, then they're great. You've never run out because you just pop them in the washing machine, you've got some more back. And it does save, the environment and money too. Those little cloths you can see are cheeky wipes. They are the wet wipes I used to use, which are like washable wet wipes when the children were little. And we still use them for hands and faces every day. It's how I take off my makeup, so I wash the children's faces in the bath. Because they are nice and small, you're not using one massive flannel. And they also have them, if you've seen things like my What We Eat in a Week video, for things like washing their faces or wiping up after meals. Now I've got one basket ready for the kitchen, another one ready for upstairs. I'm going to ask Zara to pop that in the kitchen, and we're going to go and do some homeschooling. Now it's a little bit later in the day. You can tell because Zara has changed into the Mary Poppins costume that I bought in my recent Sainsbury's clothing haul. I'm just taking this opportunity to do what I have to do multiple times a day, which is tidy up the living room. I don't know about you, let me know in the comments if you're the same, that I just have to constantly pick up, constantly just do little jobs about the place in order to keep on top of everything. You will have seen from my other videos, I do like to do power hour speed cleaning when I can fit that in, but on days like today, these little short bursts of 10-15 minutes at a time are all that I can squeeze in. And do you know what? As long as it gets it done, what does it matter? So we're doing a bit of dusting, and I'm using some Method. This is the pink grapefruit smell and just a microfiber cloth, and ew, look how disgusting that is. Honestly, this house, I don't know where all the dust just comes from. I know we've had building work done. I don't think I can still use that as an excuse for dust. There are a lot of us in the house. I mean, how quickly does your house get dusty? I feel like ours gets dusty really, really quickly. The girls like those little fluffy dusters, by the way. I don't use any chemicals on those. They call them dusterers. But they just enjoy joining in. And if I give them one of those, there's not a great deal of damage they can do. Sometimes those dusters are wands or various other magical things in their games, but they do enjoy playing with them. And if cleaning can be a game, like Mary Poppins makes it a game, then it's easier to get it done, it's easier to get them involved. Now we're going to tidy up their little toy kitchen. You just had a really quick flash when I opened the door there. All the toy food is actually in baskets inside the kitchen, just like the real kitchen, just like Mummy's real kitchen. And it's because it's an easier way to scoop it all back up. When the toy food is all over the floor, you can scoop it back into a basket and pop it away. So, didn't mean to spray the window there, I'm just wiping it off. I have no intention of cleaning that window right now, but when it's got spray on it, you've got to wipe it off. So while you're doing the little table, and we're going to sort out the washing again before we get on with some more bits we've got to do for homeschool. So I'm emptying out the washing and sorting it into tumble dryable and non-tumble dryable. I use that word, I never know if it's a real word or not. I'm sorting it into the basket on the right is the stuff that will go in the tumble dryer, and the basket on the left is stuff that will be hung over in my airing cupboard, which is over to the left. I'll show you in a minute. I have had lots of requests for an updated laundry routine. I did film an old laundry routine when we were in our old house, but things have changed a lot since then. I'm sanitizing my hands, by the way, because I just put mucky cloths and things in the machine. So I'm now going to put in some laundry detergent, and in place of softener we're doing some Dettol sanitizing laundry stuff, because we do not put softener in with cloths because it wrecks them. Anyway, this shelf thingy I will link below. It's been amazing. It secures the tumble dryer on top of the washing machine. It's like so that it's stuck together, and also it's a shelf so that I can put stuff on it. Do not forget to empty the dryer fluff, people, by the way, otherwise apparently it's a fire hazard. So now Bella is going to help me sort the clean stuff. Zara had to go earlier, and now Bella's going to sort some things with me. Anyway, updated laundry routine, guys. Would you like to see my full laundry routine? Because obviously this is just a glimpse of it today, of what we do, but I have got lots of hacks and things that I use in order to kind of stay on top of things. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that video. So over to my airing cupboard area. Now, if you saw my latest home renovation update, you will know that these doors have been added quite recently. This whole laundry area, I wanted somewhere to hang wet washing to dry in shape, just like I had in the last house. So we've got a rail between some Calyx units and above a radiator, but it's only recently that we've added these sliding doors over. By adding these sliding doors, it has created an actual cupboard area rather than just having hanging that I can actually see from where I sit in my office. And if you want to see a full tour, I will link our latest house tour below so you can see what I mean. So having this drying area is really, really helpful. If you can make yourself a little somewhere that you can hang things up on actual hangers, then things dry a lot better. Ooh, the camera just wobbled there because Zara kicked the tripod. Sorry. Anyway, if you can hang things up, it means less having to run in and out, because I don't dry things outside. We live in Wales. It rains all the time. As soon as I put things out to dry, I'd have to bring them in again because it was raining. So instead I hang them up here on hangers. They're kind of in shape, and I spray them with some of this Lenore crease releaser stuff, and then they dry without the need for any ironing at all often. And then I have got a few ways that I avoid ironing in other ways that I'll share in my laundry routine, and then I have got a couple of easy ways to iron things as well if you have got to do that. So we'll talk about that when we're speaking more about laundry. Anyway, we're up to my bedroom now. I'm putting away some of the clean, dry stuff that I took out of the laundry, like the airing cupboard. The key to being able to dry things, because some people have said, don't things get like moldy or stagnant or whatever, the key is to really take things out as soon as they are dry so it's not overstuffed. As long as there is enough space for air to circulate in an airing cupboard, then things will dry quite nicely. Now, these little vest tops I wear under all my clothes, I actually have a couple in each colour. So what I do is I hang the same coloured ones on the same hanger. It just saves a little bit of space in my wardrobe. I have got a full wardrobe organisation tour if you are interested in how I organise my wardrobe. Now I'm going to gather up the hangers that are now spare. They can go back down to the laundry room, and I'm going to put away the towels and things that were folded earlier. I keep the towels in this Calyx box in my bedroom because there's no space in the airing cupboard for towels. And now we're going to have a really quick blitz tidy of Zara's room. I do not have time to deep clean today, guys. I've said this before, but you can either go wide or go deep. So you can go deep into one room and really do every corner, or you could just do a little bit of what needs doing in every room. That's what I'm doing today. So this is Zara's bean bag with no beans. The children's bean bags do not have beans in them, they have soft toys, because it is somewhere to hide all the millions of soft toys that they have and they do not wish to part with. And that's fine. It's not quite as comfortable as a normal bean bag, but it serves a purpose, and it really is such a great space saver. So today, like I said, I have no time to deep clean Zara's room. If we can just kind of get her room so we could see the floor, I'm going to consider that a win. She's only 3. I do try and get her to sort of help tidy up, and the others are kind of doing better with their training and keeping their rooms tidier. Zara just likes pulling things out a lot. Like that's her dressing up sort of chest thing at the bottom of her wardrobe. Really, looking at that, it needs pulling out and sorting, but I do not have time today. And I think sometimes we have to accept we can't do all the things. We can't make every room fully immaculate and cleaned, perfectly. Sometimes we've just got to do what we can, because like I said, today we've been homeschooling all morning. Now I'm just doing some little jobs and things. I've got work to do this afternoon. I don't have time to do an all day top to bottom house clean. Don't get me wrong, those are fantastic. And if you've got time to do that, if you can make every inch of your house perfectly clean, I do find the tidier your house, the more respectful your family are of the house, the less likely to leave mess and things. But back here in reality where I live, that doesn't happen much at all. Normally I have to fit in cleaning and tidying around being a mummy and working, and currently being a teacher. So if any of you guys are homeschooling as well, I don't know about you, but I'm finding it not the easiest. Teachers, you're all saints. How you do it full time is beyond me. I adore my children, but I like being their mummy, not Miss Mummy, because I don't think I'm cut out for teaching. We're doing our best. We've got a lot of homeschool vlogs and things going on, and we really are kind of muddling through it. But just, it's not the easiest, is it, guys? Anyway, we are just tidying up as best I can. I'm trying to redress Zara's dollies. She strips off her dollies to dress her bunny, and then all the clothes go missing. So whenever I do find any relevant clothing for her dollies, I do try and put them back together, because she likes having her dollies dressed nicely, but she also likes having a bunny dressed nicely even. She does not like redressing her dollies. So that's Zara's room a bit better. At least we can see the floor now. I'm now getting out that little step and some Method glass cleaner. I do need that little step. It's a fold away step. It's rather good actually. I've got one upstairs and one downstairs for doing jobs like this. I will link that little step below because it's so handy and it wasn't expensive. I am now cleaning the mirrored doors in our bedroom. The girls are coming in to tell me that they're bickering over something, and I'm trying to tell them that Mummy's doing this now and perhaps you should be nice to each other. And I don't know, my children, they are very lovely and they either are very best friends or scrapping over everything. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground. Anyway, I'm cleaning these mirrors because if I'm honest, they don't get done much at all. And while I was putting away my clothes, I realised just how stinking dirty they were because the sun is on them and it shows everything up, and I thought, oh dear me, they need a bit of a wipe. Really, I could do with doing all the mirrors in the whole house, but I don't have time to do that today. I'm going to do what I can, and any job I manage to get done is a win. It's like, yay, I did something. And any jobs I don't manage to get done because I'm busy doing all the other things, then so be it. Now, while I've got the glass cleaner out and while I've got the cloth out, I'm going to do other bits in the room. We've got glass tops on our little bedside cabinets and on my dressing table. So I thought, right, got the glass cleaner out. While it's out, I will do some other bits. I wasn't intending to do these bits now, but looking around, they really need doing. And it's kind of like, while it's in your hand, what else can you kind of wipe with it? What else can you do with it while you've got that stuff out? You can also see I'm talking. I'm not talking to myself. I've got my AirPods in and I'm having a quick chat with my best friend because it's the only time I get to talk to anyone. So certainly with lockdown, it's currently, I'm filming this in January 2021 and I haven't actually seen my best friend since February 2020. She lives sort of a little way away from me anyway, and obviously then, so I didn't get to see her much even without lockdown, and since lockdown I don't get to see her, but I do speak to her every day, which is really, really nice. So I hope that you are managing to stay in touch with people even through lockdown. I find sticking a little AirPod headphone thing in, that way I can chat on the phone while I'm doing things. It seems to be the only way I can fit in making phone calls and chatting with friends, but doing it really does help to keep me sane. And if I'm not talking on the phone with my AirPods in while I'm cleaning, then I'm either listening to a book on Audible or listening to music to kind of keep me going. I only have one AirPod in at a time, that way I can listen out for the children, and the other one is charging, so when one runs out of charge I just swap them over, and it just helps to keep me kind of motivated and busy and entertained while I'm cleaning. So now the other thing I'm doing in here, the door handle, I've actually switched over to Method Anti-Back, and I've realised the skirting boards just need a wipe. While I've got a cloth in my hand, I'm going to do that. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. I'm not even going to vacuum up here today because I don't have the time. And I know this seems maybe a little counterintuitive, and the sort of obsessive person in me wants to get a whole room done and finished, but practically I'm doing the mirrors, and wiping and things with cloths now, and I'm going to run out of time because I'm going to have to go and make dinner and do all the other things. So I'm not going to have time to get the vacuum cleaner out, but I have got cloths out at the moment. So while I've got that out, it kind of makes sense not to switch to get another piece of equipment, going to get the vacuum cleaner up here. Maybe I will do that tomorrow instead, and I'll vacuum the whole house tomorrow. But while I've got cloths and wiping out, it seems more efficient use of time to just sort of stick with that. I do have a lot of these cloths. I keep the cleaning equipment kind of where I need to use it. So I've got the sprays that you can see, so that's the Method Anti-Bac and the glass cleaner and stuff. I keep that in the bathroom cabinet up high where the children can't reach. Ew, look at the dust. Gross, gross, gross. So I keep them in the bathroom. Most of my bathroom cleaning doesn't happen on camera. It happens literally just when I'm in the bathroom, and then I can just grab a cloth and think, ew, that's a bit gross, wipe it round, and then that's when I do most of my cleaning. That being said, this sink needs a proper going over. That little soap dispenser that lives on the wall, we've got those in the upstairs and the downstairs bathroom, and they're great because I can just buy those massive things of soap and then I can just refill them, so it's less packaging, less waste, and it saves a lot of money too. So just going to wipe around the tap. Now, do you find if you've got those taps, you end up with this, like, look at that, it's like tap snot, it's disgusting. It like collects under the bit where the tap, I can't even describe it. You know where you like lift it up and there's like a little lip under there, and the same round the back? Tap snot, honestly, disgusting. Do you get that, or is it just our house that has that? Anyway, that's where gunk collects. Just wiping it round, and now I'm going to use a fresh cloth because I do have a drawer of cloths. The bottom drawer is just cloths and things, so I can grab them at any time and do cleaning when the mood takes me. When I have these little 5-minute bursts, you know, if you don't have time to do a power hour, just do 5 minutes. If you've got 5 minutes, squeeze 5 minutes in, and 5 minutes of cleaning is better than no cleaning, isn't it? It is cleaner than no cleaning. I'm wiping down the side, look at that dust. Ugh. Wiping down the side and then just folding over using the other side of the cloth, and just wiping around the floor. This floor space is so small, it's almost not worth going to fetch the mop thing. I'm already sitting on the floor. I just wiping it with a cloth as if it was a surface, because that is easier and probably more efficient actually, and probably getting the corners and things more than if I was actually just using a mop. Fresh cloth now, and I'm just going to wipe over the windowsill and the top, the shelf thing of the toilet. I'm not going to clean the shower, I'm not even going to attempt to do that because I usually clean that when in the shower anyway, but then I wouldn't have cleaned the surfaces and things. I'm going to do this bit around the floor and just kind of get rid of dust and around the corners and stuff. I'm not going to clean inside the toilet because again, I did that quite recently and I will do that again soon, but that's not what I'm doing right now. Just going to get kind of in the corners and stuff that have been a little bit neglected because I'm looking for dust before it turns into tumbleweed, because there's nothing more gross as that. Now for a super quick wipe around the bath before I gather up all the dirty cloths and take them downstairs to put in with the laundry ready to be washed again. Next job of the day, empty out the washing machine again for a change, and most of that stuff will go in the dryer. And now we're putting in a light load of things that just need to be washed on like a quick gentle wash. More Unstoppables. I do find it makes the laundry smell really nice, and when the laundry smells nice, it's more pleasant to fold. And let's face it, I spend so much time sorting laundry, it may as well smell nice. I'm going to add some of the Method in, and then time to swap the drying around again. Now this drying needs to get sorted into the right person's boxes, which I shall show you in a second. We've emptied the dryer fluff, put in the dryer fluff in the dryer fluff bin. Someone did say you could use it to put into bird feeders, is that a thing? And then birds will take it to stuff their nests apparently. Anyway, into sorting clean, dry laundry. Every family member has their own box. If you look very carefully, you can see the names on the boxes. And then I put the clean, dry laundry that's come out of the tumble dryer into these boxes. And then when the boxes get fullish, I empty them out into one of those little boxes, like the ones you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen that I have a big stack of. And then each person gets given a little box and said, here you go, darling, go and put away your things. And then everyone puts away their own laundry. Zara needs a little bit of help, but everyone else can do it independently. Time has moved forward once again, and it is several hours later. I'm emptying the load of laundry that I put in earlier before I was making dinner and various things. Time to hang up the stuff that needs to go into the airing cupboard because it doesn't go in the tumble dryer. Now, if everything is hung in shape and spread far enough apart, and I spray it with a bit of that crease releaser, it ends up drying with barely any creases at all. And then the stuff that goes into their boxes that gets given to them is mostly stuff like pajamas and socks and vests and things that doesn't really need ironing anyway. So all of our kind of tops and things, other than school uniform, because I do abuse those in the dryer, go into this airing cupboard, and then they don't need much ironing because they're hanging in shapes. Now let's take a look at my house as it is at the moment and see what we are dealing with. This is our living room, which is a bit of a flipping mess. And then our laundry, the laundry has gone on top of me this week, so there's a lot of catching up to do there. Children's rooms, William's room's not too bad. He can tidy that up probably quite quickly. Bella's room, again, not too bad. However, we go into Zara's room and she's little, she's not as good at tidying, and it's a bit of a state. So we need to tackle this as a priority today just to get it back to a level. So let's start off, as I always like to, with laundry. So I'm going to take the laundry from the laundry basket upstairs where it all gets collected and take it down to my laundry room and sort through it and see what we are dealing with. I like to tip it all out and then sort it into these little smaller baskets into loads. And then as the day goes on, I can just come and grab a load and it's all pre-sorted. I can literally throw it in the machine. It'll only take me a few minutes and it's just worth doing this way. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you pre-sort your laundry? Do you sort it as it's kind of in the laundry baskets? Do you rely on your family to sort it by colour? I personally don't. I think I do ask my family to put laundry in the laundry baskets, but they don't know what might go together, what might run. I think that would be a bit of a big ask, especially for the little ones, well, for all of them really. So I sort it myself because I know what gets washed on which temperatures and things. So I just find it easier to do it this way. But if you can get your family to sort by colour or whether it's delicate or whatever in advance, then great, more power to you. The only real sorting I ask my family to do is to put damp, dirty washing separate from dry, dirty washing, and that way I know the damp stuff has to be washed as a priority so we don't end up with mould. My next job is to empty this airing cupboard. It's a bit full at the moment because all of this stuff is dry. I find this system works really, really well as long as there is space around everything to be left to dry, because there is a little radiator in the bottom of that airing cupboard, as you will know if you have seen my laundry room tour video. So I'm not going to actually put all of this stuff away right now. I'm just going to take all the dry stuff up and just kind of sling it on my bed, just kind of throw it there and deal with that later, because as a priority now I've got to deal with the stuff in the laundry room. So all of these bits and pieces are things that I should have taken straight out of the dryer and put directly into my sorting system, because as you can see, each family member has a box and their clean dry stuff gets sorted into it. But you know what? Sometimes life happens and I don't have time to do that at the time, so the machine just gets emptied into a basket for me to sort later, and later has finally arrived. Sometimes this builds up for days and days and I just end up with an absolute mountain of to be sorted laundry, and it drives me insane. So when I'm being kind to future me, I make the time as it comes out of the machine to sort it load by load. It doesn't take very long, but like I said, sometimes life happens and I don't even have time to do that. So I have to play catch up like I'm doing right now. So that's that basket pretty much empty, and that first load, it just went on like quite a short cycle while I was running around, is ready to come out, and the next load can go in. I do try and keep this going as much as possible through the week, but then, as you know, sometimes life happens and I don't do as many loads as laundry as I need to. There are 6 of us living here. Sometimes it feels like there are 16 of us living here because there is so much flipping laundry. By the way, this washing machine stacker thing has been a game changer, because not only has it saved the space because the dryer's on top of the washing machine, but that little pull-out shelf thing is so cool for sorting the laundry. So I'm emptying out the fluff from the dryer, popping it in my dryer fluff bin, which has also been a game changer because I don't have to go and take it to the actual bin all the time. And now I'm going to sort through the bits that came out of the dryer, which are a lot more towels. Sometimes I'm grateful for a load of towels because it's not as fiddly, because it's just like, hey, a few big towels, yay, winner. I've only got like a few things to fold. And then other times it's a towel load full of lots of bitty things, like all my little wipes and things, and it's actually more work than just sorting clothes. So I don't know, do you open a load of laundry and think, is this like a winning load that's really going to take me 2 seconds, or like a pain of a load that's going to be really faffy? I do. Clearly, these are the things that matter to me in my life at the moment. So that's baskets of stuff for myself and my husband. Our boxes are down there. I'm going to take all these baskets of things where they need to go to be put away now. So this one's a basket for the kitchen. And in here I store tea towels in the kitchen, because obviously that's where we need them. It just makes sense to store things as much as possible where they're going to be used. And this basket that belongs under the sink is full of cloths and things. So under my sink I store things that it doesn't matter if the children had access to, so there's no chemicals or anything under the sink. That's a little command hook under my organisation station for hanging up my oven gloves. I do love command hooks. If you've watched a lot of my organisation and home renovation stuff, I've got command hooks everywhere because they are damage free, you don't need to screw them to the wall, they're amazing. So just washing out one of those bottles. Those bottles are great, but they're such a pain they don't go in the dishwasher. Anyone else find that it's just so annoying? It's like one of the only things in your house that don't go in the dishwasher. Just wiping down the surfaces with a little bit of method. And I'm going to deal with this toaster as well, which is full of crumbs. And just wipe around this corner. The surfaces get wiped loads and loads and loads. Like every time we cook, we wipe down the surfaces just to clean up any mess that has been made at the time. But that little corner just gets a little bit neglected. Now for my toaster, I'm going to empty the crumb trays and give those a wipe over. Now this is a job I do not get to as much as I should, which you're going to see from all the crumbs, I'm sure. And this toaster tray, I get asked about the toaster tray a lot. I will link it below. It's fab. It just fits underneath my toaster perfectly, and it's a good way to move it around for cleaning and things. And more than anything, it just catches most of the crumbs. So you can pick up the toaster tray and wipe the surfaces quite easily, and then transport it around for cleaning without getting crumbs all over the floor. Now for a bit more method, this is their granite cleaner. So this isn't actually granite. We've got quartz, not granite, which I think is a pretty similar thing. But you're not supposed to use the method antibacterial. I did ask them about this on quartz or granite, but their quartz cleaner and their other cleaners are fine. So I do like to try and I normally use either the quartz cleaner or the pink grapefruit multi-surface in the kitchen, because I like the smell of them very much. So the pink grapefruit obviously smells like pink grapefruit, and the quartz one smells like, quite specifically, apple fizzy chewits. That's the very specific smell that it is, and it smells amazing. Right, that is the damp laundry basket that I was talking about. So all that stuff, the stuff that's damp, it tends to be the stuff that's absorbent, so cloths and things like that. It's super handy that those things are stored together, because I know they need to be washed urgently, but also they're the type of things that need to be washed in a similar way. So absorbent things need to be washed without fabric softener so that they remain absorbent, and generally on hotter temperatures, because they're things like cloths and towels and things like that just kind of need sanitizing, so they would need to be washed on a hotter temperature, and they tend to be things that are not so delicate. So lots of the clothes and things you couldn't wash on 60 because they would shrink and ruin, whereas towels and things, it's good to wash them on hot temperatures. Now for a basket of things that need hanging up in my airing cupboard. Now I tend to find if I hang things this way and dry them this way, and I hang them so that they are kind of in shape, so the sleeves are all pulled out properly and they're sort of flattened out as much as possible, and then I spray them. I'll show you in a second how I do that. Then they tend to dry needing little or no ironing. Most of the stuff will need no ironing at all when dried using this method, especially once I've sprayed it. But the stuff that does need ironing needs almost nothing. So this is a really good way of drying things. It also kind of, there's the spray, it's the little crease releaser. I do find that some of the things, even if they were tumble dryable, last longer and don't kind of wear as quickly if I dry them that way without using the tumble dryer. So that's how I dry all of our kind of tops and dresses and things. Now we're in the lounge and the children are helping me tidy up their toys, folding up the blanket. One of the blankets lives in that buffet thing. It's like a blanket box inside it. So we've got two. We've got the grey one lives in there, and then the pink one I just fold up, moving the blanket box. I think there's probably a better way of, the way I pick it up generally, I'm just about to pull my back doing it. There's got to be a better way of doing it, but never mind. Now on to dusting. Now a word about dust. my house is so dusty. I know there are 6 of us, so I'm guessing more people, more dust. I don't know. I think the extension was finished a good while ago, so I don't suppose I can blame building dust anymore. For such a long time I blamed building dust, but the amount of dust, honestly, it feels like every 2 minutes. Look at that. I mean, ugh. The amount of dust that builds up in this place, and I try and stay on top of it. I give it a little wipe round. I use my kind of microwave minutes, and sometimes I'll just grab a cloth and just do dusting. So even if I'm not doing a clean, because in these videos that you see me do, it's when I am cleaning, if that makes sense. But most of the cleaning I tend to do, it just tends to be right, I've got 5 minutes, I'm grabbing a cloth, I'm just going to wipe around the lounge for run around for 5 minutes and doing it. So even in between these cleans, these sort of bigger cleans that I do wipe around and dust and things, and still so much dust. Let me know if your house is the same, or if my house is just especially dusty. If I have family that creates more dust and I don't know how they do it, I'll have to find out. So I vacuumed one side of the rug. If you then vacuum the other side of the rug and then flip it back over and vacuum it again, vacuuming the underside of the rug kind of dislodges any dirt. And then when you vacuum it again, it just sucks up any bits that have kind of been dislodged. So that's like the most thorough way I have found to make sure all the muck is out of the rug, and then it's cleaner, so it's going to stay cleaner for longer because you've actually got all the bits. I'm actually going to roll up this rug now so that I can anti-back the floors. Now, all of this flooring is actually laminate. I think it's called Quick Step laminate. We had it in the last house as well, and it was down for something like 16 years and it still looked like new. So we've got the same here. I wouldn't wet mop it, so it's like soggy. Like you could wet mop tile, couldn't you? So it was like soaking wet. I wouldn't do that on this floor, but you could like damp mop it. What I actually do, well, I'll show you what I do in a second. I use my Finalizing 1-2 spray, but first I am going to finish vacuuming. So I'm going to just vacuum in this little corner. If you vacuum first, obviously you get rid of any proper bits and muck and things. It's always easier, I find. I don't know, am I the only one? What do you do? Do you always vacuum before you mop, or do you just get away with mopping? Maybe if your family doesn't create that much mess, then you would be able to get away with just that. So I'm actually using some of this method stuff in my Finalizing 1-2 spray. This is the Wild Rhubarb Anti-Back Floor Cleaner, and it just makes your whole house smell like sweets. So I pop some of that in. Oh, and my ever so sexy mop socks, because my mop socks avoid my floor being covered with footprints. They actually sort of help to, mop up any, floor cleaning stuff. So rather than being left with footprints everywhere, they just help to buff, whatever, the floor. So anyway, this is a really good way for cleaning floors that can't be mopped to a soggy, saturated level, things like laminate. But to be honest, it works really, really well on my kitchen tiles too. The main thing I like about doing it this way is, the stuff smells great. It's super quick and easy, but also when the floors are really, really wet and you really mop them so that they are soggy, I find that a real pain with children because then they're slippery. So doing it this way, it means they dry really, really quickly because it's only a small amount of wetness being used, and it does dry quite quickly. And then it's less of a slip risk with the children, especially as I'm going around buffing the floor with my mop socks, which, I don't know, my teenager especially really makes fun of me for those, but I don't know, they make my life a little bit easier. So that's my living room done, looking a bit tidier, not so much dust, not so much muck on the floor. Have a little guess in the comments though, how long is it going to stay like this? Because on days where all of your children are home, cleaning up with the children in the house is a bit like brushing your teeth with lemonade, isn't it? Because as soon as you do the good work, they follow you around and get it all out again. So I don't know, how long is it going to last? We'll see. So I'm now emptying yet another load of laundry, again. And now we're going to put in some of the damp laundry that does need sanitizing. So this is cloths, these are my towels, they are my mop socks. Whoop, that just flew off in my face. I'm using a scoop of Unstoppables because I can't use fabric softener on this load because it'll stop it being absorbent. And then that quick flash was my Dettol laundry detergent cleanser stuff. So I'm putting a new mop cover thing on my V-Leader 1-2 spray and hooking it back up. That's a little command hook that sticks to the wall to keep that out of the way, and that way next time I need to mop up a little spillage, I don't need to go looking for a mop head. I've literally got two. I've got one on and one in the wash, and as soon as I put a dirty one in the wash, I put a clean one, fresh one on, so it's just ready to grab. So I'm being kind to future me. So another load of stuff. This is probably the last load I'm going to be able to do of hanging stuff up, because by the time I finish hanging this up, there's got to be enough space between things. So I try and leave, sometimes I put hangers between things. If I put several hangers between the clothing items, then that keeps this clothing from touching each other. There just needs to be a little bit of air circulating between it all in order to let it dry. Another load coming out of the dryer. There's so much laundry to do today. And yeah, some days I get a couple of loads on a day and I'm really good. I sort it all as it comes out of the dryer and I'm all on top of it. And then other weeks it's like this week and it's all been left for the weekend. So that load is on now for sorting the clean, dry stuff. Now, normally all the stuff gets sorted, as you can see, in those boxes on the right of the screen. But today that stuff is due to go directly upstairs. So I'm actually going to empty whatever is in those boxes into these baskets, and each basket is for a different family member. So rather than doing what I'd normally do, which is putting it into those boxes and then tipping it into the baskets, because this is all due to go straight upstairs, then I'm just chucking it straight in these baskets. Now, the uniform, school uniform, one of the best things, my favourite things about school uniform is it can be abused in the dryer. So they're then like their weekend clothes or their home clothes that they just generally don't wash as well. You can't tend to throw them in the machine and then dry them on hot and pull them out and just smooth them out the way you can with uniform. I find uniform is like a lot harder wearing, it's a lot more robust. So I can get away with just taking it out of the dryer hot, smoothing it out, throwing it in a basket, and then it can go upstairs and it's barely got a single crease in it. Whereas their home clothes have to be not tumble dried and they have to be hung up in my airing cupboards. It's a bit more faffy. So actually, in a way, uniform is easier. Do your children wear school uniform? I get lots of messages from people outside the UK saying that their kids don't wear uniform, and honestly, uniform is easier because there's also less arguing in the mornings. So now each family member is going to be given a basket and told to go and put away their own things. So before we can put things away in Zara's room, we're going to have to be able to, see the floor. So we're going to have a bit of a tidy up. I'm not going to do like a big clean in here. I just want to get it back to a level where it doesn't look like it's been burgled. That's just my only goal for this room today. I do need to, I've said it a couple of times, it's not that I'm massively procrastinating it, but I know it's going to take a full day and I've been super busy with the children home and workload and stuff, but I do need to set aside a day, pull out every single one of these boxes in Zara's room, go through them and put things away. Now, not all the stuff stored in Zara's room belongs to Zara. She's got more storage than the others, so the higher boxes are where we store the toys for toy rotation. Toy rotation is fab because we take the stuff downstairs that they are currently into and playing with, and then as they're getting a bit bored with it, we put those boxes away, swap them around and bring different things down. They feel like they've got new toys. So this system works really well downstairs. In her room, the boxes she has access to, rather than having the one box at a time rule like we have downstairs. So downstairs it's like, right, you get the dollies out, you play with the dollies, put the dolly, tip them back in the box and then put them away, for example. In her room, it's more like she just pulls it all out on the floor. But I've got to remember she is only little. She's only just 4. The others are getting so much better at being tidier. I feel like Bella's just turned 6 and something's just really clicked with her with wanting to keep her room tidy and putting things away as she uses them. Up until now, she's been a bit more like Zara. But really recently, she's getting so much better. The younger you get your children started with just helping and being involved with tidying up and things. Oh, by the way, uniform, if you're not sorting it day by day, that's what you need to do immediately. Those things were just one box per day. And if you sort your uniform like that for your kids, everything they need in each day, your life will be so much easier. So I just put socks, pants, everything they need to wear for each day. All they do is pull that out, put it on in the mornings, no arguing, no hunting for things, sorted on a Sunday. It's been a game changer. Anyway, now I'm sorting all the stuff that I threw on the bed earlier. Remember all that stuff that I just lobbed on bed earlier because I didn't have time to sort it? Now it has to go away. And this basket is my stuff. So I have got a little calyx unit down the side that I kind of use like drawers. If you want to have a look at my wardrobe tour, then you will be able to see exactly how I organize the inside of my wardrobe. So the reason my wardrobe is sat up like this is we recycled a lot of calyx that we didn't need from the old house, and I use these baskets as kind of drawers. Now, considering I use baskets inside my drawers to segment things out anyway, this worked really well for me, and because when you've got a basket you can pull it out and organize said basket, and it's just much easier to get things sorted. This calyx unit here, that's where we store towels, and then this little drawer in the bottom of the bathroom, that's for like wipes, cloths and things. Now, hanging up the girls' clothes, I hang them up 2 by 2 because they wear matching clothes on the weekends, and then it's super easy to find what I need to put on them on the weekends. Then let's have a quick look at the end of this video at what my living room looks like now. I told you, like brushing your teeth with lemonade. Why do I bother? But at least it's clean mess. It is mess, but it's clean mess. So look at the state on Zara's room today. Yowza, I'm gonna have to do something about that. I also want to tackle the stairs, clean all the glass on there, and clean the hall, the entrance hall in my house, which has been a little bit ignored. Then more than anything, I'm also gonna have to tackle a whole massive amount of, you guessed it, laundry, because I've been very naughty and I've not been putting it away as I've been going, as I like to. I also just want to give this little area a clean because this is where the children come in and out from school and it gets really mucky. So let's start with getting some laundry on, because that way while we're cleaning, the laundry is on and washing and something is happening while I'm doing something else, and that is multitasking at its best. So my first job is to sort it all out. So I'm just going to tip it all out on the floor and sort it into loads. There are certain ways I sort laundry into loads. Sometimes I do it by colour, like I've got here. Sometimes I'll do it by tumble dryable and non-tumble dryable stuff, so I don't have to do what I'm doing now, which is sorting things into things that go in the dryer and things that don't go into the dryer. Because if I've got enough laundry, I can just do that before I even put it in the machine, which makes life easier. So this load, there's no absorbent stuff in there, so I can use fabric softener. I'm using a bit of my method. There is a link in the description to all of the laundry products and cleaning products that I use on a regular basis if you need to pick any of those up. My next job is to empty the dry things out of my airing cupboard so that there is space to hang up damp clothing. If this gets too crowded, nothing dries properly, so it's really important to take everything out as soon as it is dry. And that way, when it dries nicely on hangers, in shape, barely needs any ironing, which is amazing. Now, I'm not going to sort all of this stuff and put it away where it goes right now. I'm literally going to take it upstairs and sling it on my bed. Then I'm going to pop my communal laundry basket back in the upstairs airing cupboard where it goes. And I'm going to start hanging up some of this damp laundry downstairs in the airing cupboard, which is in the laundry room. I really like this Lenore crease releaser for spraying onto clothing that is drying kind of naturally and in shape on hangers, because it just helps all of the creases to fall out. It's also really great to spray onto bedding that you haven't ironed when it's already on the bed. If you spray that on and then kind of smooth it out, it makes it look like it's ironed, which is amazing, because who likes ironing bedding? Not me. So all of these bits and pieces just get hung up as long as they have enough air between them so they're not too squashed together, so they dry, because there is actually a little radiator just sort of down to just below where the camera is showing on the left. There is a little radiator there, so this is a little warm area. So as long as there's enough space around it and everything is hung up in shape, it dries nicely and with barely any creases at all, especially with my crease releaser added. That crease releaser, by the way, also smells amazing. So all of my laundry smells lovely. Next, I'm going to use some of this Method glass cleaner, which is the nicest smelling one because it smells like mint, and a microfiber cloth to tackle this glass on the stairs. I love the glass on the stairs. It looks lovely. The problem is my children love putting their hands on the glass on the stairs. It's like they're practicing to be those mime artists that pretend that there is glass, but they use the real glass until they've got the art down, because honestly, the number of handprints on this glass are just untrue. Just untrue. But never mind. I still like it, and it's just kind of, it's probably not the most sensible choice with young children, but I do still really like the look of the stairs. And let's face it, they probably won't be putting their hands all over the glass forever. I don't know, maybe they will. Like I said at the beginning of the video, lots of these jobs are jobs I've been putting off for a while. So I have not cleaned this glass in quite a while, and it is so dirty, it is positively foggy when it's supposed to be clear glass. So it's going to take quite a bit of wiping to get it right. Now, because the glass is actually lit up, obviously it highlights every single fingerprint, but that being said, I still do like the look of the glass being lit up, and it's especially nice in the evenings and things when that's the only light that we need to have on, kind of is good for going up and down the stairs. It just looks nice. So not the most sensible choice, but I still like it. So that's the glass done for the bits I can reach. Now I need a step stool because I am only 5'4" and I cannot reach this high portion of the glass because I'm just not tall enough. So we've done the glass. Before we get the vacuum cleaner out, I'm going to wipe down this bit of dust collecting. It's not really skirting board, is it? What is it even called? The bit down the side of the stairs. Because look at the dust that came off there. Gross, gross, gross. So while I've got the cloth out and we're wiping skirting boards, let's do the other skirting boards around the hall. Now, I like these skirting boards, again, but because they are square, ugh, look at that, they do collect a lot of dust just literally on the top of the skirting boards. It's like a little table for dust to collect on. Now, there are certain jobs in my house that get done all the time. You know, I have to stay on top of laundry. We clean the kitchen every time we make food, several times a day, under the table where the children drop crumbs. Places like that get cleaned and vacuumed all the time. Then there are other jobs that I put off because they're just not my favourite. And the stairs is probably one of them. I don't vacuum the stairs as often as I should because it's a pain and I don't enjoy doing it. But it's a really high traffic area and I need to do it more. So there you go, that's my confession. Let me know which jobs in your house do you end up putting off, even though you should do them more often, and you just don't. We all have them, I'm sure we all have them. I cannot be the only one. So make me feel better, let me know in the comments. So I'm just getting down the stairs, doing every step. See how tedious this is. How could anyone enjoy doing the stairs? I do have a little handheld brush thing that I sometimes use for doing the stairs, so I don't have to get the whole vacuum cleaner out. I have shown that in other videos actually, so let me know if you've seen that in some of my other videos. Perhaps I'll do that next time I do the stairs in a different video, just so you can see the comparison. Now, one thing I do find in our house, we don't have pets, but we've got a lot of people with long hair that molts everywhere. And I'm not joking, it goes everywhere. It's like a really, really long-haired animal lives in our house and it collects in clumps. That's what I'm currently picking out of the end of the vacuum cleaner, you can see, and having to like force it back in. Because, and I don't know, let me know if this is just something that happens to my family or something that happens to your family too. Is it just bits you get all over your carpet or big, massive clumps of hair? I know I've got long hair, so I am very much aware I'm part of the problem. The girls have got quite long hair, but even my boys haven't got super short hair. So it just ends up everywhere. So now downstairs, I'm just going to go around the edges with this tool thing. You can see it's already so full. The vacuum cleaner is crazy, crazy full already. So I'm going to do a little bit more than I am going to have to empty it. So I've gone around the skirting boards and now it's time to actually do the middle of the floor. This is right by our front door, so lots of muck comes in here. Even though if I'm doing the school run, I do tend to use the door in the laundry room because then the children's boots can kind of collect somewhere that is not clogging up my hall if they're full of mud. But I will get in there and clean that in a moment and show you that. And I'm going to flip this rug and do the other side. I like to do both sides of the rug just to be pretty thorough, make sure there's no bits clinging on anywhere. I'm actually going to roll that up and pop it out the way so that I can clean the floor properly and finish just vacuuming the actual laminate before I go and get my mop socks. Now, have you seen my mop socks before? My teenager thinks they're super sad, but I think they're super amazing. But, you know, I'm just going to leave that up to you to decide what you think about that. So this is the little area in the laundry room, which I'm going to have to clean in a minute. First, I'm going to take some stuff out of the washing machine and sort it into tumble dryable and non-tumble dryable. I'm sure those are words. Anyway, this is the area that the children come in and out through when they come back from school. I just feel like if they're going to come in with muddy boots, then this is a better kind of like a filter, like a funnel, before they take their boots off and get them all over the floor in the rest of the house. So those mats that I've just shaken and put in the washing machine, funnily enough, a washing machine safe. Otherwise, let's face it, it would have been a bit silly putting them in there. But as you can see, lots of muck gets collected in this little area. Now the children don't even wear shoes in the house. They take their shoes off when they come into the house, but all that muck is just from stuff falling off their boots as it comes into the house. But at least in this little area, no one sees it as much as our main entrance hall. So that's kind of why I set it up that way. So I've done both sides of that mat, and I'm just vacuuming around the edges just to get all the lots of little bits that have fallen off. Look how full the vacuum cleaner is, and I really do need to empty that in a second. And then we're gonna get the mop socks. We're gonna get them, guys. We're gonna get them. Have you got mop socks yet, by the way? And I mean, if you haven't seen them before, you might not even know what I'm talking about, and you might think I'm insane. But bear with me, keep watching and I'll show you. So just vacuuming in behind all the baskets and things. It's amazing how much muck gets behind that. It's also amazing that the vacuum cleaner, being that full, can pick anything up. It's definitely time to empty it, guys. So look at all that. Look how satisfying it is. Clunk, gone. Ew, gross, gross, gross. But still pretty satisfying. I know it's pretty gross to see all the stuff that gets picked up, but I do find it quite like, well, at least I've done something. I've not been pushing the vacuum cleaner around for nothing. Onto the mop socks. See? Aren't they cool? Aren't they absolutely trend setting? You wish you had some. I got them in a pack of 3. They are linked below in my kind of cleaning essentials blog post. So if you just can't live without them, you can grab yourself, well, a pack of 3. You can grab yourself 3 pairs. There's a purple pair, a blue pair, a pink pair. I know, just too exciting, I'm aware. So now I'm using this Veleda 1-2 spray. You can't see, but there's like a trigger thing, and when I squeeze it, then it squeezes out a little bit of cleaner. I'm using the Method, the pink one. What is it called? Remind me what it's called, guys, the one I use. The pink one. It smells like sweets. Oh, it escapes me. Someone will remind me in the comments the name of it. It's the antibacterial Method floor cleaner that I always use. So now that is pretty dirty and icky, so that's gone in with my wet, dirty washing, and I'm putting a dry one on to put away, so next time I do the floors, it's good to go. We're upstairs now. We're upstairs and we're going to strip Bella's bed. Now, there are a lot of beds in our house, as you know, because there are a lot of people in our house. So I try not to do all the beds on the same day, because otherwise it just creates a massive, massive amount of washing. So I tend to do usually a maximum of 2 beds within one day, and then that's enough washing to kind of get through. Now, what's really important to do, guys, I didn't used to do this, is button up the duvet covers before they go in the wash. And do you know what happens if you don't button up the duvet covers? You lose things in them. And then months, if not years later, after these things have been washed several times, you'll find like a random thing, a sock, a pillowcase, something that you've used and lost in the wash, and it'll be inside a duvet cover, and it'll be because you didn't button it up. And sometimes it'll get washed and dried several times within this duvet cover until someone notices the lump in the duvet cover. Now, I don't change the pillow and mattress protectors every time, but I am doing this time. I tend to do them every other time, so this time on Bella's bed I am doing it. This is an IKEA bed. It's an extendable bed. It's just from their kiddie range. Bella and Zara have got the same one. It can extend a bit more, but to be honest, I mean, I know I'm only 5'4", so I'm not exactly very tall, but I can lie down in that with legs fully extended, even though the bed isn't fully extended, and I fit. So, oh, there's Zara. By the way, it's not St. David's Day. She's wearing St. David's Day costume because she is. If you saw over on my Instagram around St. David's Day this year, you'll know that I had a St. David's Day costume for Bella, who's my elder daughter, and I could not find it. I could not find it for love nor money, so she ended up wearing a smaller one that was in fact too small, and Zara wore the one that looks a lot like the one she's wearing today. Now, what actually happened was then on this day where I'm filming, Zara's wearing this St. David's Day costume. I'm like, wow, that looks a bit big for you, darling. Oh yes, I found it in my dressing up. So Bella's costume had ended up in Zara's. I turned the house upside down, and there were 2 in Zara's room, and I just thought there were 1. So that's a very long, boring story about how I lost and Zara found a Welsh costume. The end. Anyway, back to cleaning. I'm now doing Bella's bed. As I said, this bed's an IKEA bed. It's slightly shorter than normal, so I just use normal size bedding. Then I tuck it in a bit because I didn't bother to buy the actual IKEA sized bedding for the bed. So back downstairs, and my little mat things that I washed have now been washed, and I'm going to pop Bella's bedding into the washing machine. I have put some of those Unstoppables in. I'm using a bit of Method laundry, and I am using some Dettol laundry detergent anti-bac stuff because I use that on bedding and towels. So those mats are going to be hung up in my little airing cupboard area. I hang those on, are they skirt hangers, trouser hangers, the clippy type hangers, because they're not tumble dryable, because the backs of them are that funny rubbery plasticky stuff, so they don't go in the dryer, which is a bit of a pain. But at least because they're that fabric on the back, it means they're not slippery mats. So that rug's just gone back down the hall now, by the way, because the floor is now dry. So there's Zara in her, well, actually Bella's Welsh costume. That is a bit big for her. Never mind, at least we found it. So I'm popping away some of the clean, dry laundry that I dumped on the bed earlier, and I have got to put it away now because I can't just leave it there forever. You can probably see I've got multiple versions of basically the same vest top, and the same coloured vest tops I do hang on the same hangers because they are the same garment. I don't really wear them on their own that much. I normally wear them underneath things, especially in the winter, and layering up and things. This is my legging hanger. How cool is that? I will link below my video and blog post about wardrobe organisation that's got all my little hangers and various things I use to organise my wardrobe. As I'm hanging up all these bits and pieces, I'm also pulling out any hangers without any garments on them, and they will head back down to the laundry room. They will go in the airing cupboard, ready to hang damp, clean clothes on them for drying. So that's my bras away, all those other bits and pieces away. There are the hangers, gathering them all up. See, quite a lot. They're going downstairs. Now we need to tackle the mess that is Zara's room. Bless her, she's only 4, and all of my children were pretty messy when they were little. The others grew out of it. Let's just hope she does too. Never mind. Anyway, for now, let's just get it done. This is her dressing up basket, and she loves it. One of the things I wanted to do when we moved to the new house is organise somewhere for their dressing up things. It's a bit of a dumping ground, really. There's a couple of places to hang things up, but I wanted them to be able to access their dressing up things whenever they wanted to, because it's literally their favourite game. And honestly, if you have seen my Instagram stories or some of my vlogs, the outfits that Zara comes out of her room in, the combinations of this hat and that princess and all sorts are just so funny. They really make me laugh, and it's just so much fun. So they often have dressing up clothes for Christmas and birthdays and things. It's generally what they ask for. There's normally a specific character they're after, and Zara's actually got a lot of dressing up stuff because she has the stuff that she's asked for, plus she has Bella's hand-me-down sizes. So she does have a lot of dressing up, but it's literally her favourite thing to do, and it's just so cute, and it's just such a lovely age, isn't it, when they're little, and they love dressing up, because I know it won't last forever. Now I'm throwing everything on the floor so I can strip and make Zara's bed. So I keep all of the bedding for each of the children in their rooms as a rule, although Zara has actually requested some bedding today that was kept in Bella's room. So I've got the under sheet thing. What's the under sheet thing called? Mattress protector. Yes, I'm changing mattress protectors today. And then these are the princess things that Zara asked for. She saw them in Bella's room. She's like, can I have those on my bed? Yes, you can. That's fine. But the reason I keep the bedding in the individual rooms is if in the middle of the night, we've all been there as parents, we've got to change the children's beds in the middle of the night because there's been some sort of flipping disaster. It's all right because everything you need is there. So these pillow protectors, they're just like communal pillow protectors. We have the same sized pillows in every room, and then they just all get stored in my bedroom in the communal pillow protector area, and they just get rotated around because, like I said, I generally don't change every bed in the house on the same day, so we have enough spare ones to kind of rotate around without having to wash them and put them back straight away. So getting her pillow protectors on, I'm going to try and get her to help me tidy up. I do try and get my children involved. It's not necessarily super helpful when they're little. It's more about getting them involved and teaching them to do things than it is them actually being much of a help to me. And yes, I did remember to button up the duvet cover before sending it off, flinging it into the hall, ready to go downstairs to be washed. By the way, single beds, so easy to change, aren't they? Compared to double, king size, bigger beds, unless they're bunk beds. Will's got a bunk bed, and changing a bunk bed is just no fun. It's no fun at all, is it? But changing a single bed like this compared to the others, what a doddle. So I really don't mind changing the girls' beds, but doing our bed or Will's bed just feels like a bit more of a workout. So I'm going to put some more of her dollies and teddies. I'm just putting those at the foot of her bed, just her favourite ones. This blanket she likes to cuddle up in. She actually doesn't tend to sleep with a duvet on much. She normally pushes the duvet all the way off and just sleeps with like a thinner blanket because, I don't know, that's just what she prefers. So the duvet barely gets used. It's almost decorative. But still, I do like to put it back and have the bed made nicely. I feel like even if the rest of the room is a bit of a mess, if the bed is made, it's got a base, hasn't it? It's setting the tone for the room, and then you can tidy a few other bits and pieces and make the bedroom look reasonably tidy quite quickly. I still need to, I just haven't sort of carved out the time, because I need to carve out the time when I haven't got Zara, so either when she's in school or when my husband's home, to really tackle this room, to pull out all of the stuff, because there's a lot of communal stuff stored in Zara's room because she's got quite a lot of storage space because she's got one of the larger rooms. The idea was, her having the larger room, is that they would all go into Zara's room to play, because the older ones get a bit protective over their space. So I thought, well, if we have more communal stuff in Zara's room, they can all go into there to play. She's littler, she won't mind that. Whereas when they get older, they get a bit more like, oh, I don't want little ones breaking my things. So that's why she has a slightly larger room, because that's where they kind of congregate to play, whereas the bigger ones play in their own rooms, whereas Zara wouldn't necessarily go in there to play with them as much. Anyway, that's why there's so much stuff in Zara's room. I really need to tackle it. But I know it's not like a little job. It's a pull it all out and really make a day of it kind of job, which is why I've procrastinated it. But I will do it. I will do it as a video as soon as I get up the time and the energy to get that done. But I know keeping this room will be tidier and easier to keep tidy when it is done. So there we go. That's a bit of a botched over job. Her bed is made and you can now see the floor. So I'm counting that as a win. Bella's bedding, in the meantime, is done. Pulling that out. Let's get another load on, shall we? How many loads is that now? Can't even count. How many loads I've put on today? I think I even did 2 before I started filming. It's a lot today. I mean, how many loads a day do you put on? I don't always put on this many. I tend to put a bare minimum of 1 load on, but there are 6 of us, and by the time we've got all the clothes and the towels and bedding and things, you know, we do go through a lot of washing. If I don't put washing on every day, then it's only me that suffers. It's me that ends up having to deal with the build-up. It's me that kind of deals with the laundry hangover, as I call it. So Bella's stuff is going into the dryer now. Let's not forget to empty the fluff filter, because it is a fire hazard if we do not empty the fluff filter, and that's going in the dryer fluff bin to save me very late having to go and put it in the real bin. And that is my power hour done for the day. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop some wireless headphones in. I like to listen to either an audiobook or some music while I'm cleaning. It keeps me motivated. So the first thing I'm going to do before we head upstairs to tackle the bathroom is just sort the washing, because then the washing machine is working while I am, and that is multitasking. So I'm going to pop some Unstoppables into the drum first. Sometimes I forget to put them in first and I put them in last, and you all shout at me in the comments telling me that's not the way you're supposed to do it, but I've remembered today, so I'm doing it right. So we're popping in some Dettol laundry cleanser to sanitize this load because it's towels and things. We're putting some Method concentrated laundry detergent in, but no softener because it's absorbent stuff. I'm also going to empty the dryer and put the wet stuff I've just taken out of the washing machine into the dryer. So they've got the washing machine working, we've got the dryer working. While I'm going to go upstairs and clean, everybody is pulling together, the whole team. Don't forget to empty the fluff filter, and the dryer fluff bin, since I moved to this house, has changed my life because I no longer have to traipse to another room to dispose of dryer fluff, which I do multiple times a day. So I'm going to do something I forget to do a lot now, and I'm going to tie up my hair before I start cleaning. I often forget to do this and then it's all falling in my face, but for things like a bathroom which are a bit icky, tying hair up is a good idea. So I'm going to reach for my cleaning caddy, which I keep high up in my bedroom but out of the children's reach, so it's easy to grab when I am in the mood to clean or when I've just got 5 minutes really. So it's nice to have all your bits ready to grab when you have the time. I also keep some cleaning essentials in the bathroom just for really quick wipe ups, and I find that it's just a barrier to cleaning if you haven't got the stuff to hand. Most of my cleaning I do, to be honest, it's not in these speed cleaning videos, it's because I grab a cloth from the bathroom and just wipe up while I see something icky in there. So I'm going to open the window because, you know, chemicals, fumes, fresh air is good, and it gets me all hot and bothered, doesn't it? It's like a very gentle exercise. And look, I've remembered to put on rubber gloves. I don't always remember to do this. Sometimes I forget, and in this video you will see I take off my rubber gloves sometimes to, I don't know, move the camera, and then I forget to put them back on. It's very naughty, I know. So I'm using a bit of Method glass cleaner to clean this mirror. It's the one I like because it smells like mint, not vinegar, which is good. I'm trying to start up and then work down, and then I'm going clockwise around the bathroom. So I like these two Method scents. I nearly called them flavours. They're not flavours, are they? They smell good enough to eat, but please don't eat them. This one is wild rhubarb, it's the anti-bac. The other one I like is the pink grapefruit. I'm using a Minky bathroom pad thingy, and I like this because it's got soft side as opposed to a scratchy side, so it's not going to be leaving marks or anything. I mean, I know the original Minkies are supposed to be non-scratch, but this one, I feel more comfortable using it, you know. I actually picked this up in a B&M haul recently, so if you fancy watching me go shopping in B&M and what I ended up buying, including this, go and check that out. Now, tap snot. I said this before in one of my videos, and a lot of you thought that was very funny, but tell me if you know what I mean. It's the bit that gathers around the tap, because you know we've got those taps that lift, and you have to clean behind the bit that lifts, and then you have to turn the tap on in order to clean the bit under the bit that lifts. Right, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense here, but can you see as the tap's lifted, there's like gunge that collects under there. That's what tap snot is, and it's disgusting. And if I don't clean my bathroom all the time, tap snot collects, because there are so many of us using this bathroom, and I seem to be the only one that ever wipes up the tap snot or the toothpaste or anything at all, really. Is that the same in your house? So I do actually clean the sink most days. Just grab a little cloth, sometimes wipe over with a bit of water, sometimes grab some of the Method from the bathroom cabinet behind me. But I do find the easiest way to clean, if I'm honest, is in these short pockets of time. As much as I love the idea of my whole house being absolutely sparkly in one go and doing like an all-day clean with me, in reality, I struggle to fit that in. I work from home, and by the time I've run back and forth to school 3 times a day to do the school runs, I don't have a lot of time. So I tend to find these power hours are just the way I find it workable for me. By the way, I'm wiping the front of these drawers because there's toothpaste spat all down them. It's not very nice. I do love these drawers in the bathroom. They have been one of the best decisions we've made when we did the renovations, because we've now got somewhere to store all the bits and pieces, so the bathroom's less cluttered. But they do catch all the drips and the gunge. Anyway, back to why I power hour. And in fact, most of the cleaning you see me do is not the main cleaning that I do. So when I get out oh, look how disgusting that is. Ugh. I get out the camera if I'm filming a power hour or something, but most of the cleaning I do tends to be just, I'm in the bathroom, I see something gross, I grab a cloth, I clean that little area when I've got 5 minutes. Call those microwave minutes, where you've just literally got a few minutes to get something done. Right, towels, I'm just going to chuck those in the bath for a minute so I can clean this towel rail, and then I'll scoop up all the stuff that I've left in the bath and clean the bath. I do, by the way, throw wet towels in the bath ready to take downstairs. I don't ever let anyone put wet laundry in with the dry laundry in our laundry hamper, because if it stays there for anything more than a few minutes, it lets everything in the laundry get not just dirty but disgusting and damp and ugh. So anything damp at all I throw in the bath, and then I carry it downstairs whenever I'm going, and then obviously I would just clean out the bath. So wiping over this very dusty towel rail, I don't know how it collects so much dust. I mean, it doesn't help that I spray dry shampoo in the bathroom. I do often try and stand in the shower to spray my dry shampoo actually, because otherwise it does tend to leave a little film of dust everywhere. Speaking of which, let's get on to the shower. So again, most of the cleaning of the shower that I do is when I'm in the shower. I just think, right, I'm going to have a shower. I'm in here anyway, I'm already wet. I'm going to clean it while I'm in here. Obviously, I'm not going to film myself cleaning while I'm in the shower. So I'm actually going to clean it now as well, clothed. So you're welcome for that, because no one wants to see that. Anyway, I am giving everything a little wipe over. Hope you can see it through all the muck. This shower head is lovely. It's great to power shower, but the little dots that the water comes out of, they just collect dirt, and I feel like I'm constantly cleaning this. I don't know how it gets dirty so quickly, but it really does. So we live in Wales, which is a soft water area. So it shouldn't, does that mean it shouldn't build up as much? I mean, we don't get lime scale. I'm using this little brush, which is one of my new additions to my cleaning kit, newish. And it's like a permanent toothbrush for cleaning, and then I sanitize it or chuck it in the dishwasher in between uses. But it's good for little jobs like this, where just like the minky pad wouldn't get it all off, something where you've really got to get in all the grooves and crevices. But honestly, the amount of gunge that just came off that shower head, ugh. So I've sprayed over the shower. I've given it a little wipe over initially. I'm going to spray back over. I think showers, especially when they have really heavy use, get a bit of abuse, don't they? Now this scrubber thing is fab. It's so good. When I'm in the shower, obviously it's easy because I'm already in there, I'm already wet, to clean the shower, and just with a little pad or a cloth or something. But when I'm trying to not get soaked in the shower, this is brilliant, and it's good for cleaning the tiles, the hard to reach areas. It's extendable. I'm going to use it to clean the bath later. It's such a cool little gadget. I will link this below. In fact, what I'll do is I will just link to my Amazon store, where I've got like all my favourite products that I'm using, so you can just kind of browse through those. So if you see anything I'm using in this, you want to find it, it's in that link below in my Amazon store. So I'm using this on the doors. It saves you back a little bit. It saves getting soaked and drippy. It's good for hard to reach areas, for high up places, low down places. And then I'm just using this squeegee thing, which I will link a similar one in my Amazon store, but this one happened to come, I believe, from IKEA. So I've gone over the shower initially with the Method multi-surface. I prefer using the multi-surface. I don't find it cleans the bathroom like any less well, that's not said properly, is it? I don't feel the bathroom cleaners from Method clean any better. I would say they clean as well as the scents that I love, so I would rather clean with a scent that I love, and then I'm more likely to clean. See, you can see now I'm not wearing gloves. Isn't that naughty? It's because I've taken off my gloves because I don't want to get gunge from the gloves on my camera, and then I've forgotten to put them back on, which is very silly. So I guess I'm better behaved with my gloves when I'm not filming, because I don't take them on and off all the time. There you go. I'm remembering to put them back on now. Yay, well done, Ray. Now we're going to clean the shower tray and drain. And let me warn you, if you're eating, turn off the video, because this is ultra gross. I'm using that little, it's not a toothbrush. It's bigger than a toothbrush, and you should never put it in your mouth. The toothbrush scrubber thing that is linked below in that Amazon store as well. But it's the perfect brush for doing this kind of cleaning, because it's strong enough to get into all the creases and get the gunge off, but without kind of marking anything. The drain, honestly, this is disgusting. I mean, oh look, it wasn't that bad until I cleaned it all off, by the way. It was it looked clean, and then I took that little toothbrushy thing and got all that gunge off. I mean, look how puke that is. Right, okay, I'm gonna have to clean that now. Blech, threw up in my mouth a little bit. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, enough of that. Let's get on with cleaning it. Let's stop looking at that. It's gross. Okay, make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Okay, it stopped. So let's just rinse the worst of it away. That's just all the black gunge that, in spite of the fact I clean the shower while I'm in the shower all the flipping time, has built up. Gross, isn't it? Just collected around the corners. So that funny non-toothbrush thing has got it all off. I can now rinse it all away and then give it a proper old clean. Tell me someone else's shower is as gross as this, because I'm just showing you my dirty shower. I'm hoping that I'm not the only one whose family makes the shower this dirty. I don't know, let's face it. I only know how dirty our shower gets, so I'm hoping this is pretty standard and not officially the most disgusting thing on the internet. Anyway, rinsing out the drain thingy, which is in several parts. and then I can pop all that back in and finish up the shower and move on to the bath. Now, I have limited time, as I said earlier. I'm doing this little power hour, I'm squeezing it in before going to do a school run. So when my alarm goes off, yes, I have alarms on my phone to remind me to go and fetch my children. It is not that I would forget to fetch my children, it's more that I would run away with myself with what I'm doing and not notice the time. And it takes the pressure off a little bit. I think if I don't have an alarm set to notify me it's time to leave to go and get the children, I clock watch all the time and it pulls my focus from whatever I'm doing, which is work or cleaning or whatever. If I know I have got an alarm set, then I can just crack on with what I'm doing. I'm a lot more productive. Ugh, look at that. Gross, gross, gross. That's like the inside of the drain thingy. So disgusting. Anyway, the alarm is my fail-safe. It will remind me of the time, and I have it set for about 20 minutes before I need to go. And that just notifies me, right, you need to wrap up. You need to think about tidying up what you're doing and saving your work, whatever it might be, and grabbing your shoes ready to go. Because if I don't have that, then I would just clock watch the whole time and not get anything done. So let me know if you're the same, and if you don't currently have an alarm set for you sort of 20 minutes before you've got to leave, a little heads up alarm, I suggest you set one. Let me know how it goes and see if it helps. So we're coming to the end of the shower, finally. Of course, the most annoying thing after cleaning the bathroom is when your family uses the bathroom. You're like, please don't use the bathroom. I just cleaned it. Nobody use it. Just stay dirty, people. So I'm now going to do the windowsill, just because it gets super dirty, and the top lid bit of the toilet. I will get to cleaning the toilet later if I have time, but I always like to do that last because it's the dirtiest thing. I'm wiping down the fronts of these cupboards. I don't get to do this much, and they get quite fingerprinty. For some reason, my children managed to get toothpaste on the front of them. Goodness knows how. I'm also going to wipe this tile wall thing. I'm going to use my extendable brush scrubber tile thingy. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called a tile scrubber. It is linked though, so if you can't live without one, just as I couldn't live without one. So I'm going to go over these tiles. They probably are not super dirty, these ones above the bath, but you know, let's face it, every now and again I've got to clean them. It's probably more dust than anything. So that's that wall done. Now let's do the bath. The bath doesn't get used as much as the shower does. The bath gets used a fair amount, the shower gets hammered. So the bath has it covers dust around the edge, and then I do wipe out the bath probably every time after the girls get out of it, because bubble like gunk gathers at the bottom, so it's like clean gunk, isn't it? But you don't want to leave it in the bath. So the bath does just get a little swill out quite frequently, so I don't feel like it gets the build up that the shower gets, even though I'm still constantly cleaning the shower when I'm in it. So I'm using my little scrubber thing, going all over the bath, getting rid of any build-up gunk that is there, even though, I say, it's not nearly as bad as the shower was. And I am aware time is a ticking and my alarm's going to be going off very soon, very, very soon. So after we have done the bath, what we're doing now, we're wiping it over. So giving it a little wipe over with a microfiber cloth, so it's been sprayed, it's been kind of scrubbed, and now it's being not fully dried, but you know, just mopped up the worst of it. So I do go through a lot of these cloths, but before I discovered using microfiber cloths, I used to use a kitchen roll. So now I've got all those towels and cloths and things, they all get washed together, they all get sanitized with that same laundry sanitizer that I used before. Now my alarm has gone off, so time is a ticking. I'm not going to have time to fully scrub the toilet in this speed clean, so I'm just going to throw some bleach down there and let that work its magic, and then I will flush it when I get back, and that's going to have to do. Now for the bits that I have used for cleaning, I'm going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of the bath and a little capful of Zoflora just to sanitize those, so that next time I go to use them they are clean. Now some fresh towels folded freshly on the rail, on my freshly cleaned towel rail. How long will this last after I bring my children home? about 5 minutes maybe. Now, last job before I head off to school is to swap the washing around again. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with. The children have made dens in the living room and it looks a bit like we've been burgled. So I'm going to start in here and to just tidy it up and kind of get it sorted, or as sorted as possible. This is not about perfection. This is a progress over perfection kind of speed clean and organize, where I'm just aiming to get things done as opposed to get things perfect. So let's get started. I don't know about you, but in my house, we have to do a lot of tidying before we can do any cleaning, any at all. And in fact, picking up after 4 children, it's a bit of a full-time job. I do encourage them, as you will see in this video, to join in with helping with tidying and cleaning, especially if it's their mess. Obviously, it's far from perfect when little ones help with tidying, but I do feel it's important to encourage them and teach them those skills for being able to put things away. There we go, we've had a little run around. It's far from perfect, but it's a lot tidier, so it's no longer unable to see the floor in here. However, there are things thrown all over the floor in the hall, so I'm going to pick those up. We have this lovely shoe storage that not everyone seems to know about in my family. So not everyone, not mentioning any names, puts their shoes away. So I'm slotting as many pairs of shoes away in there as possible, hanging up the coats that have been left on the floor. Yes, people are supposed to hang up their own coats. It mostly happens, it doesn't always happen. Now to get out some baskets. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love baskets for sorting laundry and also from tidying things from room to room. Now, as things come out of the dryer, in theory, they go straight from the dryer, which is that top black item you can see in the far right of the screen, because my dryer is stacked on top of my washing machine. In theory, they go from the dryer directly into the calyx boxes you can see just behind me, and everyone's got their own box and things get sorted directly into them. In practice, often I'm in a rush, I'm on my way out, and I take all the clean dry washing and dump it in that white basket that you can see. So today I'm sorting all the stuff that just got dumped into baskets on the floor. Those are the girls' little white socks. I do like to pair those up all in one go, only because I find it a bit overwhelming to find a sock and then find its pair amongst all the washing. So I find if I pair them up when they are all in one basket, it's easier to find their other halves. So all the towels are getting folded, all the clothing is getting popped into a basket. Each family member has their own basket that I'm sorting things into. Then the washable face masks that I found, they go in the under the stairs storage. So there's always some ready to grab on the way out of the house. So cloths and cheeky wipes and things, I'm going to pop those into the kitchen in this basket and they can get sorted later. The towels and all of the clothing that's sorted person by person is now ready to go to the relevant bedrooms. So, oh dear, we're not done. I thought we were done. I thought I'd sorted all the laundry and then I found the dryer was full and finished. So all the fluff, don't forget to empty your fluff filters, people, because if you don't empty the fluff filter, the dryer isn't efficient. It's also a fire hazard apparently. So empty the washing machine and then let's get another load on. I am using some scent boosters and these bold pods at the moment. I have worked with Lenore recently, but this Spring Awakening scent, see if you can let me know in the comments before we get to the product, which I will use later in this video, to tell me which Spring Awakening scent product I have been using for absolutely ages. If you've been watching my speed cleans for a while, you'll know that I have been using Spring Awakening for quite some time. But what is the product? Can you guess? So let's sort some more clean dry laundry, the stuff that just came out the dryer, and then we'll put the stuff away room by room. There we go. The children are going to take their own things to their own rooms and they put away their own things. Zara, who's the baby, needs a little bit of help, but she does sort of do it herself with a little bit of encouragement. The others can do it totally independently, even my husband sometimes. So let's go upstairs. Let's take this lot up, including the towels. I'll show you where I store all of those. In the downstairs loo, we have space for 2 hand towels and 2 bath towels in this really skinny cupboard that I bought from IKEA. So the bottom of that just has the towels and the loo rolls, and then the top section of the cupboard has toiletries and things. So that was a really small area, and I feel that's quite a good use of the space. At least there's always towels to grab. All the rest of the stuff, other than a basket for my teenager because his bedroom's on the ground floor, all the other bedrooms are upstairs, so I'm going to carry the remaining baskets upstairs. Now, Zara's room, if you saw my recent Declutter Zara's room with me, you will know that it was such a nightmare to keep on top of. And you were all wondering how long it was going to stay nice and neat and tidy. Now, as disastrous as this room looks at the moment, it's not as bad as it was. So this is quite kind of superficial mess, and I can see that the stuff that is out, I know where it goes and it all has homes. Whereas before, when the place was a tip, and don't get me wrong, this is not a tidy room by any stretch, but before, when it was a tip, all the stuff didn't have homes to go to as such because the organisation of the room had become such a jumbled mess. Whereas now, tidying the room is a much quicker endeavour. And in all fairness to Zara, this is the messiest it's been. I did reorganise her room several weeks ago. This is the messiest it's become in all of those weeks. Most of the time, she's kept it pretty neat and tidy because she's now got a box of this, a box of that, and knows where things go. So that didn't take me that long to sort. Look, that's sort of tidy now. Whereas before, if you've seen on my Instagram stories and stuff, I was just constantly in there tidying. So pair of shoes of mine, they need to go away, and the rest of the towels that I brought upstairs. So I've got one of these boxes in here for bath towels, and this box below is for hand towels. Now the airing cupboard is that wooden door you can see in the back of the screen, just there, it's gone now. We don't actually keep towels in the airing cupboard because there's a massive water tank in there and I keep other bits and pieces in there. So I keep towels in my bedroom instead because they're still nice and easy to get to. So these are all my clothes. I have been procrastinating putting away my clothes because I just run around not having much time, to be honest. So all of these clothes are actually the clothes I brought up last week and left in a basket unsorted in the bottom of my wardrobe, plus all of the ones I brought up today. So I am actually going to put all this away now because it's been frying my brain that it's not done. Now, if you look in the back corner of the screen on the left, I have got a Calyx unit that we repurposed from the old house, and all of that stuff lives behind the sliding mirror doors. Now, instead of having drawers as such for my clothes, I've got all these baskets which slot into the Calyx unit. So my knickers and things, so either my period pants or my not period pants, depending what time of the month it is, are in those baskets. Bras are in another one. These shorts are kind of like pajama lounge shorts sort of thing that I wear just in the house. They go in another basket. Socks in another basket. And it's easy, to be honest. It was a nice, easy way to utilise the Calyx we already had and to turn it into drawer-like storage. These are all yoga pants type things, not necessarily for yoga, but that I wear like as loungewear or pyjamas. They're in another basket, but it's a nice, easy way to store things because I can pull things out, sort them out. We don't sort things up, we sort them out and then slot them back in. To be honest, even if you don't have this exact system, it is handy to have baskets or drawer dividers or whatever within drawers to keep things sorted because you can pull things out to sort them. That mirror could probably do with a darn good clean, but I'm not going to have time to do that today. And I think something that I've had to accept over the years is that doing a whole house clean is not something I'm able to do a great deal, because most of the time I don't have the time to clean my entire house in one day. It's very rare I have time to do that. That's an all-day job and I never have all day. So now we're going to change the sheets on our bed. I tend to change the sheets on the beds on different days. Maybe I would do a couple of the children's beds in one day, but our bed, by the time I've changed all the beddings, is at least 2 loads through the machine. So I endeavour to change our bed on one day and 1 or 2 of the children's beds on another day, and then 1 or 2 on another day after that, just because otherwise I end up with a laundry backlog all in the laundry room. I can't get in there and it absolutely fries my brain. So bedding, again, I keep in the top of this unit. So this unit is sort of like airing cupboard type storage that most people would have really, but since we don't have space in the airing cupboard, I keep it in my bedroom. So we're going to get this bottom sheet on the bed. I do tend to use the ottoman function of the bed in order to help put the bottom sheet on quite often. So what I'll do it, probably see me do it now. Oh, well, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Yes, I am. I'm going to lift it up. By lifting up the ottoman, I can actually get under the mattress a little bit easier to get the sheet on, which is much easier. So I'm going to shake out the bedding, which, okay, I don't iron bedding, but I've got a trick for this coming up. I do popper up the bedding. You will have seen me do that many times if you watch my videos, because otherwise if you don't popper up the bedding, all of the things like the pillowcases or whatever else is in the machine gets lost inside the bedding and you possibly never see it ever again, just to warn you. So popper up or button up your bedding, and then I'm going to just shake it out, kind of put it all in place, and then we're going to do my I don't have time to iron my bedding, so I'm going to do this instead trick. I always have the window open, by the way, as long as the rain is not lashing down, which, I mean, I live in Wales, so quite often the rain is lashing down. But I do find I like to clean and do bedding and stuff with the window open for a bit of fresh air, partly because this is like a workout, I get really hot and bothered, and partly because it's just nice to have the fresh air. So let me know in the comments, do you like to have windows open while you are cleaning? Let me know. So now, Lenore Crinistrelli said this is the product that if you guessed correctly earlier in the video, you will have seen me use a lot. I love the smell, so I have been using that Spring Awakening crease releaser for quite some time. So I spray that on the bed. I've left that on the bed now, and when we go back up, it will look a lot less creased and I won't have had to iron anything. So we're going to get another load on, get another pod in. I do find if I use the pods and the scent boosters and the fabric softener all together, the smell is so good. It's much stronger than if I just use one of the products, obviously because there's more product, all of the same smell, and it kind of all works together. I am using some stain booster on these sheets as well, getting all that into the machine just to kind of boost the whites. There we go, we're using Ace for white. Again, I have worked with Ace before. This particular video isn't sponsored, but just to disclose, when I have worked with companies before, because obviously I do like to work with companies that I love and that I genuinely use. And the Ace for Whites has been really good at bringing my bedding back to like a fresh white as opposed to a grey off yucky white. So now we are putting away some of the towels and things. More towels. We go through a lot of towels in our house. Do you go through a lot of towels? We do. Anyway, now this is my airing cupboard area, which is literally 2 rails between the calyx and the wall. And I hang up the wet washing here. Some people often ask me, don't you hang any washing up outside to dry, Ree? Don't you ever dry washing outside? The answer is no. I have been stung too many times doing that. If you've watched my day in the life videos or vlogs or anything, you'll know that I work from home, I have 4 children, and I run back and forth a lot doing the school run. You'll also know that I live in Wales and it rains a lot. The number of times I've thought, right, I'll put washing out and then it'll rain. I've just given up, so I either dry things in the dryer or in that airing cupboard, and I spray my crease releaser on it, and it's above an airing cupboard. It is an airing cupboard. It's above a radiator and the stuff dries quite nicely. Now, in the meantime, back in the living room, This is what the children have been doing. While I've been cleaning and tidying, they've been doing this. Seriously. This was tidy. Was this not tidy? Well, it's not tidy now. So let's do it again, shall we? Because, you know, why not? Why not just re-tidy the thing that we tidied at the beginning of this video? Because this is mum life, people. This is real life. This is why I can't clean my whole house in one go, because as soon as I've done one room, they walk around me like a team of demolition experts. Beautiful demolition experts that I love, but this is the reality of it. So is this what it's like in your house too? So now we're using a little bit of antibac. This is the peach smell, I think, which smells amazing. It smells like sweets. Quite specifically, it smells like those Haribo, like circular peach things with sugar all over them. Peach, I'm not even sure what they're called, but does anyone know which sweets I mean? This smells like that. So I'm just dusting. This unit especially gets really dusty. I mean, yeah, look at that. Blech, yuck. Does your house get really dusty? Is it just because we have too many humans in it? Too many humans in the house creating dust? Is that what it is? So we're just going to do this other end of the Calyx unit too. Give it a little wipe over. I have not done nearly as much of the cleaning as I wanted to do so far in this power hour. But sometimes all the tidying and the laundry and the beds and things all needs doing too. Now, as you can see, the pillows, by the time I've put over the little cushions and things, it so doesn't matter that I didn't iron that duvet between the crease releaser, which is now kind of dried a bit, and putting the throws and things on. Really not worth the time in my life to iron. What am I even talking about? To iron the bedding. And here are my children in their pajamas playing nicely, but to prove that there's a little bit of a mess going on, I'm actually going to leave them there, which means they'll make more mess, and I'm going to do a bit of cleaning and things, then we'll go back and tidy the mess they're making. First job is to put the cushions outside. It's a glorious day, so hopefully we can spend a bit of time out in the garden, even though people are allowed in the house. Doesn't mean we can ignore the garden, can we? Especially in the nice weather. And I am going to clean the downstairs bathroom because it's going to be the first time that other people are going to be using our downstairs bathroom, and they'll see how, quite frankly, grubby it becomes when all of my family are using it and no one other than me ever cleans it up, apparently. I do get my children to help around the house, as you know if you've seen my other videos, but they seem to just not realise that bathrooms need cleaning. I think they think that fairies do it. Very quickly, I'm going to address the cushions on the outside seat again. I know we've moved past that, but where do you guys store the cushions for your outdoor seats? If we leave them outside, they go manky when it rains. But then through the summer, I have this problem of not really having anywhere to put them in the house. They end up dumped in the corner of my kitchen looking a mess. Just wondering if anyone could weigh in on that. So cleaning this towel rail, which gets incredibly dusty. I mean, like unusual, disproportionate perhaps amount of dust seems to gather on this towel rail. It's great obviously for storing towels and things, for heating the bathroom in the winter, and apparently for gathering dust. I mean, look at that, it's disgusting. It's just right. So I'm just showing you the reality of cleaning and our home. So now we're going to just do the windowsill. The bathroom is fully tiled, so it's quite easy to wipe over, and then all around the sink. This sink probably gets the most use and abuse in the house and therefore gets the dirtiest. And as you know, you've heard me talk about this before, you get tap snot, don't you, under the tap, you know, where you lift it up and it gathers under there. Don't know how to stop that building up other than to just wipe it away when it happens, but it's constant. So we've got these little shelves under here where this is just boxed in and tiled in pipes and stuff. It's just another surface to gather dust, really. Look, ugh. I do have a proper floor cleaner thing that I use, in the other hard floored areas of the house, but this flooring area in here is so small that I just tend to wipe it over once I've finished wiping the other bits. I tend to use quite a lot of these cloths while I'm cleaning. So that first cloth, the blue cloth I showed you that was really gross, I'm not still using that cloth. I just got quite a lot of blue cloths. And then obviously, like, once I've cleaned the toilet, that goes in the wash and I grab another one and I keep going. These microfiber cloths were such a good investment. I used to use years and years ago, I used kitchen roll for everything. I went through loads of it. It wasn't so good for the environment. And I invested in a few packs of these microfiber cloths, and they're just fab. Just make sure you don't wash them with any fabric softener. Wash them on nice and hot to clean them. And then I will absolutely just be able to recommend them. You can use them for just everything in your home. So I'm going to put a nice neat folded towel there, and I'm going to make it look neat and tidy by stamping the corner of the toilet roll, that's what it's called, with the tap. Now the downstairs bathroom looks tidy. I mean, I doubt it will stay like that by the time my guests arrive, because my children will have messed it up by then, but at least I've tried. So as you can see, I'm still like pre-shower in scruffs, haven't got ready for the day yet. And can I just add, it's so flippin' hot today, just so hot. I don't want to complain. I don't want to be that Brit that's like, oh, it's too hot, oh, it's too cold. But if you're not from the UK, you may not know that us British people don't cope with weather very well. When it's cold, the country comes to a standstill and we're all like, it's so cold and so wet. And then when it's hot, because we don't have air conditioning, because it's only really hot for a couple of days a year, we're all melting and we can't cope. So yeah, for those non-Brits among you, us Brits just don't do well with weather at all. By the way, I don't know if you can tell from the video here, the amount of muck that just came off that doormat, considering I make my children take their shoes off when they come in, was insane. So I guess they step on that with their shoes and take their shoes off. But the amount of dust that came off it when I tipped it upside down, so I'd highly recommend vacuuming the back of a mat, because it really gets all of the bits that are stuck in the mat out. So I'm now putting on my super sexy mop socks that my teenager mocks me for. Don't mock the mop socks, they're cool and you know it. They just stop me leaving footprints everywhere, and they kind of buff in the floor, I guess, like dry it as I go rather than leave footprints, which makes me happy. Plus they're a bit silly. The girls who are still playing Duplo have not noticed them, because when they do notice them, they're like, Mummy, I must wear them too. I'm just noticing how manky the top of the skirting boards are, by the way. Yuck. So that I wasn't going to do the skirting boards right now, then looked at them and thought, ugh. So they've been wiped. So the floor has had a little disinfect with my Philida 1-2 spray, and it's got the wild rhubarb anti-bac floor stuff in it from Method. Oop, just noticed another skirting board. Yuck, yuck. So wiping over all that, and because it's been vacuumed, hopefully I've got all the bits up, and then this is just to disinfect the floor and make it smell good. So now I'm going to give a little wipe round in my office. It gets really dusty in here too. In fact, thinking about it, my whole house gets dusty. Is it just to do with the amount of people? Is it just more people equals more dust? Or do you have a family of less than 6 people living in your home and it still gets incredibly dusty? Did you notice when you had more people or fewer people living in your home, then the dust changes? If you could weigh in on this and let me know, because I don't know, I just wonder why my house is so very dusty. So I've just given the surfaces a very quick wipe over. I try and keep my office tidy as much as possible. It's difficult when I get deliveries for things for videos, and obviously I've got my lights and my tripods and things, but I do find if I've got a tidier environment to work in, I am more productive. I feel like tidy office, clear mind, that kind of thing. But it does get really, really dusty. Again, I look at my desk sometimes and think, oh, it's just thick with dust. So now this is a really quick power hour speed clean. This is not a deep clean by any stretch. Really, I need to pull out that little sofa and go all behind it. I am just very quickly vacuuming behind these baskets. This is the laundry room area, which is the other side of my office. So my office is the other side of that Calyx unit that you can see on the screen. I have got house tour videos if you want to have a proper look around the house and kind of get more of an idea of what's next to what. So this is our extension, which is now our dining room, but it's all been kind of pushed to the side because I was exercising in here earlier. I tried to fit in a little workout which I was doing on my iPad while the children were playing Duplo in the lounge, and I was trying to do that. I think the only time I can fit in exercising, or the only time I can face exercising in this weather, is quite early in the morning before the weather gets insanely hot. So I'm gonna just vacuum these mats, but these mats are actually machine washable, so I've got 2 sets of them. So when they get a bit gross, they're not too bad in the summer, they just get a few bits in them and things, but in the winter the AstroTurf obviously doesn't get muddy because that grass outside is fake. Yes, it is fake. It's just how it stays nice and tidy all the time. But when the children have walked back from school and their feet are muddy, then they do come in, take the wellies and things off on those, and they get really manky. So it's easy to just chuck them in the washing machine. I said I wasn't going to pull everything out, but I'm doing this corner because I saw kind of tumbleweed levels of dust from the other side of the room. So if I can see it, I'm pretty sure my guests can see it the first time they ever visit our home. So I am just gonna, let me check at the time. I haven't got much time for this really, guys. Honestly, I've got to do this power hour and I've got to have a shower because I've been exercising and now cleaning, and it's about 1,000,000 degrees, and quite frankly, I smell. So I've got to get on with this, and then I've got to make sure that not just my house is tidy, but I'm a bit tidier before my guests arrive, and that my children are dressed. It is a nice change of pace in the school holidays to be able to opt to get up. They still get up at a reasonable time, but to kind of have breakfast in pajamas and then to just spend a bit of time chilling before getting really on with the day and dressed and things. So it's quite a nice change, really. We do still get dressed, reasonably early, but it's nice to have a reasonably calm morning. So this white floor, it does show up a lot of the dust and things. My husband did re-grout it. If you watched our home renovation series, then you'll know that originally we chose to have white grout, which was just such a mistake because it just stained terribly. Whatever I cleaned it with, it just re-stained. So he re-grouted it with grey, and I can highly recommend that because the white tiles come up quite clean quite easily, but the grout was a nightmare. So it is now time to try and tidy up and clean the lounge a little bit, because I guess we're going to have friends over. I think they're going to get to sit on our sofa. We're going to have friends sit on our sofa for the first time. I know this may seem like a strange thing to get excited about, but it's been a long time, and we're not going back to normal in this house because we've never had normal in this house. We moved into it in April 2020, but we're moving towards a new normal. By the way, I've asked the children to tidy up. This is their response. Yeah. Oh look, they did put something away, sort of. So I think I'm just gonna have to encourage them. I do put that tidy up song on. If you ask your Alexa, I'm spelling it so that she doesn't set off in your home. But if you ask her to play the tidy up song, it goes do 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 do, and then sings a rather sort of encouraging tidy up song. I asked the children to see if they can finish tidying whatever room they're doing before the song ends, and they find that quite motivating. So just giving this place a little vacuum. I've given it a little wipe over dust. Like I said, we're not going deep with this clean. It's more of a surface, make it look like my house is clean, kind of clean, than an actual deep clean. I am still vacuuming. Oh no, I'm not. I've grabbed my Vileda 1-2 spray. So I've just done in these little corners. Luckily, this will dry ridiculously quickly. As you may or may not have noticed, I've changed my purple mop socks for blue ones because the purple ones were soaking from having done the rest of the floors. They actually came in a pack of 3. So I've got purple ones, pink ones, and blue ones. They're fab, aren't they? And the obvious answer to that is yes, Ree, they're Papa. Anyway, time to sort some washing out. I think I've already done 2 loads of laundry this morning, sticking in some of those smelly things, what are they called? The sprinkly things. I can never remember the name of them. Scent boosters. Obviously this is towels and cloths and things that are going to get washed on hot, so we are only doing that without any fabric softener. So that's my office looking a bit tidier. The lounge, you can now see the floor and not a big thick layer of dust anymore. The cushions are all outside, ready to sit down nicely. Hopefully sit outside a little bit with friends, which is nice, but then if it gets too hot, we're allowed to legally come inside without worrying about breaking the law. I know. Small things that are now making me happy. Kitchen was pretty tidy, but I've given the floor a bit of a once over, and the dining room is kind of all set, which they have never seen it before, so it's just going to be so nice to have friends over. Hi, I'm Ree. Welcome back to my channel and an Unpack with Me video after getting back from our Disney Magic at Sea UK staycation cruise. The 6 of us were away for 4 nights on the cruise and 1 night before that, and I've got so much to unpack and put away and wash and just generally catch up on, so I thought I'd bring you guys along with me as I tackle it all so that you can help and just kind of stick with me through the process. If you want to catch my in-depth videos from the cruise, make sure you're following me on my Mummy of 4 Does Disney channel and Instagram account, so you can see all of the magic from the Disney magic. Now back to earth with a bump. Here I am, just got home. I'm still in my Disney bound outfit and I've got so much to do. The whole house is a tip. So down in the hall, everyone's just taken stuff off and flung it where they took it off. They've forgotten how to hang things up during the course of a week, and I've got all the stuff dumped in my bedroom to start tackling. Look at all this stuff. There's so much. The very first thing I'm going to do is take off my ears and my belt because I need to be able to move around easily. And now I'm going to get all of the suitcases onto the bed, open them up and see what I am dealing with. Now, if you watched my Pack With Me video, which I believe was over on my Disney channel as well, then you'll know I used packing cubes. You will have seen previous packing videos on this channel, but for this particular Pack With Me, I used some of my Disney bags as packing cubes as well. So some of the bags, because I wanted to take extra pretty bags to go with different outfits, I put clothes into. Now, everything didn't go back in quite as neatly as it went out. Obviously everything went into packing cubes, folded neatly and things, and a lot of this is packing cubes full of just dirty washing, but I have separated out things that didn't get worn or don't need to go directly into the wash into some packing cubes, and then other packing cubes or bags like that one, like a zippy bag, are just, I know they are dirty laundry. So my first job is to sort what needs to go where. I like to use these baskets. Oh, they're my hair tools. They need to go away. Let's just pop those away under there. My little hair tool organizer, which is underneath my dressing table. We'll stick those away and then we can get back to the suitcases. There, done. Oh, also, that is a little makeup bag. I bought that in a Primark haul. Love that, with a little bit of Mickey Minnie on it. So these are my chargers and wires. This is a bag that actually lives in the case. So a couple of the bits have got to come out of it, but primarily it's just our travel chargers, leads and wires, and that's going to get zipped back up and put back into an empty case when I finished emptying it. So I need to pull everything out and sort into what's going where. I like to use baskets, as I started saying before I got distracted. I like to use these baskets to sort what is going into which room and just divide up, divide and conquer. So if I know, right, this basket is all dirty, that all needs to go to the laundry room to be tackled. Some of these things, so that's some of William's stuff, he decided not to change every single opportunity like the girls did. So that is just clean stuff he can hang up in his room. So I'm just slinging that packing cube in his room so he can deal with that himself. That basket is some bits for Zara that are still clean. I did overpack a little bit. I like to have some spare outfits in case I don't know, things get messy, we want to change. And the problem with unpacking, the same as any other project you start with cleaning, decluttering, sorting, things like that, it has to kind of get worse before it gets better. So I've still got all this stuff to tackle, and I already feel like I've been going for ages. So now on to the next case. I'm pulling out, those were colouring books and things. They've got goggles, they've got to go back in with the swimwear. A lot more dirty. Look how big my dirty basket's getting. Oh dear. Then those are some bits and pieces that I bought. I hid those inside one of my bags. Let's see what's in this one. This one is more stuff for washing and some swimwear as well. I only pack the dry stuff with the dry stuff. So if there was anything that was even slightly damp, that went in its own wet bag. So that's a Disney Cruise Line bag for some other bits. But packing cubes, honestly, since I discovered packing cubes, packing is so much easier. That big floofy dress, the girls didn't even end up wearing those on the cruise, so that just stayed in a packing cube the whole time that I'd stuffed it into. All the swimwear, that I had managed to dry that out actually before I packed it. A load of shoes in that one, so that's going to go into a basket of shoes because they primarily go in our understairs storage downstairs. So that's another case empty. So I'm just trying to empty it out, and really I am making mess here, but I now have got those two cases totally empty, and then we've just got all these baskets of things. This is what I like to hopefully and optimistically call organized chaos, because at least stuff is being categorized into where it needs to go. So when it gets to the stage I've finished the sorting and I actually start moving things to where they need to go, we can start being able to do things like see the floor again, or be able to see the bed when all the stuff has been moved. But until it's been sorted into where it needs to go, then it just is a jumble of chaos that you don't know what to do with. That basket you just saw a flash of there, that was my empty packing cube, so I'm gathering all of those together as well. So at least now, by doing things in baskets this way, I sort things into where they need to go. I have baskets all over my floor. It looks disastrous, but it saves me taking one thing to one room, one thing to one room. So believe it or not, it's actually less work, even though this looks like chaos. So I've also got a basket of miscellaneous stuff. There's always that stuff, isn't there, when you're unpacking or tidying or anything with the, I'm not sure which category this stuff goes in. So just random things. I'm going to bung it here together. You've got to have one place to put miscellaneous things. Masks. I did overpack masks, I must say. We did have to wear masks on board, only indoors, not outdoors, and I packed enough masks for a fortnight apparently. I think I thought we were going to go through a lot more than we did, so all of those were clean. And if you are packing when you are getting back from a trip, so you're packing, you're in a hotel, it's that dreaded bit where everyone's running around going, what have I forgotten? What have I left behind? You search under all the beds, convinced you've left something behind. Is it just me that does that, or do you do that as well? Anyway, next time you're in that hotel room, you're frantically trying to scoop all your belongings back into a case before checkout time, be kind to future you that will be doing what I'm doing right now, which is attempting to sort through the chaos, and just try and think, keep all the dirty stuff together, keep all the stuff that didn't get worn and can go straight away together, keep all the shoes together. The more you can kind of keep together, the less lengthy this process will be. Now let me know in the comments, have you actually seen any of my vlogs from the Disney cruise yet? Perhaps you are a main channel viewer, you've not seen any of those yet, or maybe you've come over from my Disney channel to this, my main channel, in which case, hello. So I'm just taking out all the bits of jewelry and things that I'd hidden in each bag. I think the jewelry from each outfit was like living in the corresponding bag. You may have noticed I've just changed into some shorts to be a bit more comfortable running about the place, and now I'm going to do another super quick change, having emptied that case, into a t-shirt. So I'm in all comfy running around cleaning clothes. So let's tackle my dressing table, where I've been dumping all of the jewelry, both mine and my daughter's. So this all needs to go away, and also all the accessories and things from our outfits, belts and things like that, makeup, all that sort of stuff. If you haven't seen my bedroom tour, then I go through all the drawers and things, show you what's inside, how I organise all those. So make sure you check that out if you haven't seen that yet. Now these little bits, it's so tempting just to leave them and just cover the bulk of the stuff. But I know there are certain jobs that if I don't do them quickly, they'll kind of end up getting stuck and lingering, because I also know that I've got so much work to catch up on because I've been away for a week and I was vlogging, but obviously my computer did not go on. As wonderful as going on holidays and breaks can be, coming home is like dealing with the holiday hangover. Even if you've had no alcohol, it's dealing with the work you've got to catch up on and all the laundry you should have done. So that's all my Loungefly Disney bags unpacked and the cases empty. All of this looks like chaos, but it's sorted into where it needs to go baskets. So it may not look like it, but we are getting somewhere because we've made a start. We've sorted things, we've categorized things. I've emptied loads of bags, and all right, okay, I can't even get into my bedroom to go to bed tonight unless I carry on, but we're getting there. And I always get to this stage of any project. If you've ever seen me do decluttering, cleaning, tidying, anything, I'm always at the send help stage where I just feel like you can't actually make an omelette without breaking eggs, or some saying, but you've got to kind of make more mess in order to tidy up sometimes. So now we're down in my laundry room sorting through laundry. If you follow me over on my main Instagram, you'll know that I put laundry on every day because I hate the overwhelm of it building up. So we're there, we're at the overwhelm of it building up because I haven't put washing on every day, and there are 6 of us, and we go through a lot of clothes because there are so many of us. So I'm just gonna get the washing machine on, and over the next day or so I just need to keep it going. Every time I go in there and it's stopped, I need to put another load on. I need to keep doing that. I do like to sort everything into loads into these baskets. I have a lot of baskets, so if you see me when I'm on top of things, the baskets are stacked up and empty at the moment. They're all full of junk all over the house. But by sorting this into a dark load, a lights load, something that's ready to be chucked in the machine load, it means when I've only got 2 minutes to sort the machine out, it might actually get done and I can keep the machine going. So there's going to be quite a few of these loads. It's going to take a few days, I have to accept, in order to get back on top of things. So it does feel a bit overwhelming when you're there, but if you just keep going, do a dory and just keep swimming and just keep putting the machine on, keep it moving, enlist the help of your family if that's something. I mean, washing kind of falls on me. I do get my family to help with putting things away, but all the making sure it's washed and dried, kind of, I end up doing that so that it doesn't get done wrong. But then I do very much enlist the help of my family for putting away their own things. If you've seen my main channel, laundry routines and things, then I do have a system where everything gets sorted into who it belongs to, and then the basket of that person's stuff gets given to that person and they put their own things away, including my 4-year-old. She needs a bit more help than the others, but she does put away her own stuff. So let's get the dryer on. And then this is my airing cupboard where things that don't go in the tumble dryer get hung to dry. I'm just emptying it out from all the stuff that was in there drying before we went away. So when the stuff comes out the washing machine, it needs to be hung up in there. There's some space to actually hang it up. And having that little space, which is just, there's a radiator in there and the door closes. We had a similar system in the last house too, so I've used this system for years. It's great because when you hang things up, they don't need a great deal of ironing if you hang them up in shape the way I'm kind of doing now. And as long as you leave enough space between them, then you don't end up having like musty, damp kind of situations. So you can't overstuff an area like this. It's quite good if you've got lots of hangers like I've got, to put the hangers between each clothing item so they can't physically go too close together. And the key is to just keep emptying it. So I'm using a bit of Lenore crease releaser, spraying that on. It smells good and it helps with the creases releasing, obviously. So all that stuff has just been dumped into the relevant person's rooms. And then my Disney Loungefly bags are being hung up on command hooks in my daughter's bedrooms because they're so pretty. Like, why hide those away in a cupboard? They go on display. And then all the ears that we wore on the trip, both myself and my girls, we often had matching ears. The boys wore some ears, not as many. But they all get hung up in my daughter's rooms too because they're pretty, and the girls like seeing all the mini ears on the side of the calyx like this. So those are little command hooks, they're stuck on, and it's just an easy peasy way to store your Disney ears. I have got a blog post where I link all the different ears and things that I've got, and other blog posts where I link everything we wore on the trip. So I will make sure to include those down in the description if you are into Disney and you just can't live without this stuff, a bit like me. So now to sort the packing cubes. We did go through a lot of packing cubes. I also use packing cubes to store things like off-season clothes under my bed. So when I do everything gets stored in packing cubes under my bed. So by sorting these packing cubes, I'm just sorting them by size because they come in packs of packing cubes with multiple sizes within the packs. And then if I sort them by size, when I know I need to grab a large one or a small one, whatever, I can grab those easily. These stuff away bags, the kind of floral blue ones you see in the bottom of the screen, are just Cath Kidston pack away bags. And I always pack away bags into our bags when we go away, because that way when we're bringing things back, I can just shove things in them. It's extra storage to bring things home. It makes things so easy when things are not going neatly back away the way that they were neatly packed to go. So I'm now repacking the swimming bag. So some of these bits that were clean or had already been washed or whatever are getting rolled up. I roll up the hoodies. They either take a winter hoodie or a summer hoodie, and they wear that to the pool when they go to swimming lessons. So those are away and ready. I'm now going to stick these suitcases away, and then for today I'm totally losing the plot, if I'm honest. So I've still got this big pile of stuff in the corner of my bedroom, and that's just going to have to stay there for a minute. I'm going to go and stick some more washing on, but then I've still got to get my computer turned on and see the joys of what's awaiting me in my inbox. That's another hangover you have to deal with from holidays, isn't it? Dealing with the dreaded inbox when you've switched off for a few days. And speaking of a few days, we're now going to do some time traveling. So we're going to put the washing in and we're going to close the door. Go on, Ree, close the door. Close the door. There we go. And now we're going to jump forward. Full disclosure, this is a couple of days later, and all that stuff we looked at, stuffed in the corner of my bedroom, still there for 2 whole days, because I've been working my backside off, editing all the vlogs and things. So now 2 days later, we're finally, Zara's helping. We're finally getting round to sorting this pile, because I've been looking at it for 2 days every time I went into my bedroom, and it's driving me mad now. So this last lot of stuff just needs sorting and putting away. It's the miscellaneous basket of stuff that needs to go to lots of different places and needs sorting. That's always the stuff that I procrastinate sorting, the stuff that's going to go away last. Also, I've got empty bags. Now I'm going to make sure that those bags are actually empty, go through all the pockets and things, make sure there's no food, especially because that's really gross. You don't want to pull out a bag in a few months' time and find skanky food in it. That's really gross. So I'm going to put the empty bags inside a suitcase, because then at least that's an easy way to store them, and next time we go away and I need those bags, I know where they are because they're with all my packing stuff. I don't tend to store the packing cubes in the suitcases. I store those in a box in my wardrobe, because quite often I do use the packing cubes for other things. So the other things that I've just popped in that Minnie Mouse case, so that's our toiletry bag, as in our travel one, all the chargers and things in a bag, and the medical bits, because they just live in that suitcase ready to go. So there's some shoes and things. I'm popping those in a calyx box in my wardrobe. They've got to go away. These wardrobes are great, actually. My husband built them when he did the house renovations. Go and check out the house renovation series if you haven't seen that yet, because they've swallowed so much stuff. So I'm just going to put those bits inside that wardrobe. They are all ready to go, and now the only thing left to look at in my bedroom is this basket of my husband's stuff. Can we place our bets how long that will be left there for him to sort? I'm going to start by popping an AirPod into one ear. I use one at a time, and then I can switch when one goes flat. I like to chat to friends, listen to audiobooks or music, or even a YouTube video like this one to keep me entertained while I clean. I'm going to start by sticking the washing machine on. I did actually preload it earlier, so all I've got to do is turn it on. That's super easy to do. And now I'm going to take these items upstairs. So that's the swimming bag and a load of pre-folded sorted laundry, and just put that on my bed to put away later. I'm going to grab some glass cleaner. This is the mint scent from Method, and just a microfiber cloth, and clean my very dirty glass on the stairs. Now, this light up glass is a very good idea in theory, unless you have small children that just like to drag their fingers up the glass every time they go up the stairs. Now, the other problem with this glass is trying to clean behind it. It's a bit of a problem. Now this one, as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit. I have got a different duster that's a bit longer, but I'm really short on time today, so I'm just going to kind of abandon that. You know, sometimes you can kind of either go deep and really thoroughly clean something, or you can kind of go wide and do lots of different things. In this power hour, I've got quite a few different bits I need to get done, so I could probably spend the whole hour just trying to sort this glass, but I don't have time for that because there's other stuff that needs doing. So I'd rather give it all a little bit of a once over than to spend ages trying to get behind that little corner panel. So we're working the way down the stairs. Wherever possible, I do like to clean up high first and work my way down, and that way any dust I unsettle and agitate from up high that falls down, I can clean that as I get to the bottom. I do have a lot of these microfiber cloths. I will link them in the accompanying blog post to go with this video. There's usually a blog post to go with most of my videos these days, where you can find all of the bits and pieces that I talk about in the video and that I'm using. So you can find that blog post down in the description or up in the cards. But basically, I have a lot of these microfiber cloths, which are linked in that blog post, because as soon as one gets a bit saturated with cleaning product, you need to chuck that in the wash and get a nice clean dry one. So I'm now going to get my vacuum cleaner out, plug it in, and do the stairs. I really am very short of time today, so it's just one of these kind of quick and dirty speed cleans that sometimes I have to do because done is better than best. So if I wait until I've got time to do loads of cleaning and do it thoroughly and perfectly, I'll never do it. Sometimes it's just better to get something done and not done perfectly than to not do anything at all. So I'm just going over each step. Not one of my favourite jobs, the stairs. I feel like the stairs do get a bit neglected because they're one of my bugbear jobs, if I'm honest. Now, we all have them. What is it in your house that you just hate cleaning? You avoid cleaning because it's just a pain. The stairs are one for me. Really, I could use the handheld vacuum cleaners. We have got little handheld Dysons. They are quite old now. My husband did replace the batteries on them, so they are a bit better. But this plug-in vacuum cleaner obviously is a lot more powerful because it's plug-in, but it's not nearly as easy as something that's just handheld. So, you know, it's a bit of kind of give and take. It is a much easier one because it separates from the base than just a standard vacuum cleaner. But I don't know, what do you use to clean your stairs? Do you use a handheld? Do you use a plug-in? What's your stairs cleaning preference? I'm also doing all the way down the side and along the skirting boards with this attachment. It's amazing how much gunk collects on our skirting boards. I love our skirting boards because they've got that kind of square top finish to them. I like the look of them, but it's literally like a dust shelf, so that all the way along there, it just collects dust on the little skirting board dust shelf collection device, which you can't really see how much is coming off, but I promise you it's a lot. The camera is not showing exactly how much there is. Now, this vacuum cleaner is good with suction and it's nice and easy to empty. This was, full disclosure, gifted to me absolutely ages ago, so just full disclosure, but this is not an ad. Anyway, these little rugs, normally if I got a bit more time, I would vacuum all of the hall. I would turn over the rugs, I would vacuum the back of the rugs, and then I would get my spray, my Valido 1-2 spray, and I would do all the laminate in that. And today, do you know what? I just don't have time. So rather than doing nothing, I'm just going to vacuum, and then I'm going to plonk the rugs back down, and that'll just have to do for today because, you know, real life happens sometimes. This little corner is a proper little dust magnet. This is like the way into our living room. Collect so much dust. Now a word about Halloween decorations. If you saw my Decorate With Us for Halloween video, you'll know that we put out all these lovely decorations and it's loads of fun until you've got to clean. Because guys, minimalism is fab for cleaning in that the less stuff you have out, the less there is to clean. And then you put out all these lovely decorations, which is super cute, and it's just more stuff to dust. So as fun as it is, I'm glad that we only have this much stuff out for decorations, for Halloween, for Christmas, that kind of thing. I think we do something similar for Easter, don't we? We have a little Easter display. But if it was all year round that I had this many kind of trinkets and things, it would drive me mad, because as fun as it is to have the decorations, I'm always kind of secretly glad to put them away when it's time to put them away, because it's less to clean. Full disclosure. Whoop, just knocked all of the lights onto the floor. Whoops, that totally meant to happen. It was meant to happen, guys, meant to happen. So I'm going to pull them off on the floor, and I'm sure when the children see, they will complain that I have put them all back wrong or something, but never mind, I've pulled them all off, just dusted along. I really did not dust this little section that long ago, just really not that long ago, and it's already caked in dust. It is amazing how much dust is created in our house. I assume it's just because there are 6 of us. For a long time, I blamed the fact that we'd had building work done, because obviously we did our whole home renovation series. But now the extension was finished coming up to a year ago now, close to a year ago. So I probably can't blame building dust anymore. It's just all the, this is going to sound gross, dead skin coming off my family. How gross is that? Just all over the place. That's what the dust is. Ugh. So just putting back the little buckets of lights and all the other things that accumulate dust, but the children love them. This is their little toy kitchen. It's from my old house. Oh look, Zara's left a very lovely little book she made. How cute is that? Very cute, but it's got to go away. Anyway, toy kitchen came from our old house. It actually suits our new house much better because our new house is grey and white. This is fixed to the wall so the children don't pull it on themselves. It even has little baskets inside. I can't remember, did I open the cupboards of this little kitchen? Let's hope I do, so you can see inside. It's actually got little baskets to put all the children's toy food in, and it makes it easy. Oh, look at that, gross. It makes it easy to scoop up all the toy food and put it back in the toy kitchen. So if your children have got a toy kitchen, use baskets to organise those cupboards just as you would in your big kitchen. It makes everything easier to pull out and clean, and more to the point, everything easier to scoop up and put away when it is time to put things away. Hi guys, Ree here, interrupting this video because, as you may tell, because I have changed my clothes, it is the very next day, and that is because I was supposed to be doing my power hour of cleaning yesterday and I ran out of time. So just to give you a little dose of reality, that sometimes there are things you plan to do and you don't get them all done, and you've got to pick it up at a later date, like the next day. So before I get on with some work, I am going to do the other half an hour of bits and pieces I tried to get done yesterday and failed. So I've got my AirPods in. I always like to have those in to listen to an audiobook or to listen to a YouTube video perhaps, or some music while I'm cleaning. So I'm going to stop chatting, get on with more cleaning so that I can then get on with some work. And voiceover Ree is back. I've got my Method anti-bac. This one's a peach scent, which is really yummy to smell. Obviously we don't eat or drink it, people, just before anyone hates on me. It's a nice smell. And another clean microfiber cloth. This shelf here collects a lot of dust. Oh look, more ornaments. And these little shelves, do you know what, collect a lot of dust. We've only got 2 little shelves in here, so it's not too bad. There's no space to put any more decorations and trinkets, so at least it's not much to do. Now let's see how gross this is. How gross is it going to be? That is revolting. See, I told you, they're like a little shelf of dust collection, vomitness. Ugh, gross. Now, much like with yesterday where I totally ran out of time, I should be working now. So this is just the jobs I should have done yesterday, didn't get round to. So I'm going to vacuum, going to move the stuff out the way, vacuum all in the corners, move the children's tent out of the way, which they've been dragging out the garden, but Obviously the weather is foul now, so it's inside. They have been enjoying playing in the tent though, and at least we've got a bit of space at the back. But when the Christmas tree comes in not that long, it's only a matter of weeks really, isn't it? A short amount of weeks before we can put the Christmas tree back up there. We're going to have to fold down the tent. So I've just done that little corner of getting all the tumbleweed of dust and disgustingness out of the corner. I'm going to shove that little fake tree from IKEA back in the corner in a second, just trying to get a bit of the dust out of the grooves in here. As I said earlier in the video, this is a quick and dirty kind of clean. I'm not going to have time to fully wash all the floors with my Finalizing 1-2 spray. Even though that thing is quick to use, I just don't have the time. So I just want to get rid of tumbleweed and make the place slightly less dusty. This is a basket of shoes. Even though we do have understairs shoe storage, this is the basket. I'd rather than leave the shoes in there when they're going in and out of the garden than just in the middle of the floor on those grey mats for everyone to fall over. So the basket is for immediate dumping of shoes, and in theory then that one basket of shoes gets carried into the hall, and then in the hall the basket of shoes gets emptied into the proper shoe storage solution. So obviously that hasn't happened, but it's still better than the shoes being all over the floor. So try it if you've got a shoe problem and your shoe storage is not right by the door where they go in and out, because obviously our shoe storage is by the front door, so that's fine, but it's not by the back door where they play. Try just putting a little basket and getting your family to collect shoes in there. So now I'm shoving the dining table back over the other side so I can vacuum over this side. And then we're gonna be moving into the kitchen. So I'm gonna just get a bit of dust out from behind there. I should drag this heater thing out. I could technically move it, but it's just not one of those days. It's not one of those super deep clean days. It's kind of a speed clean, just get it done, make it look slightly better than it's looking at the moment kind of days. The table was sprayed and wiped after breakfast, so I don't need to do that. Just need to vacuum around the corners in the kitchen. Our white tiles are lovely, but especially the under cupboard lighting just highlights dust and tumbleweed when there is dust and tumbleweed. So it does need vacuuming or sweeping or whatever quite frequently. So just going to do under here. That big grey bag you can see by the island is our bag of cushions, which I'm guessing is going to have to go out the shed, but it's all the cushions from the outdoor seating. So what do you do with your outdoor seating cushions? I find them a bit annoying because if you've got to keep them in the house, they're not going damp. Where do you put them? We've just got this huge bag of them. Right, back into the lounge. Zara has left a nice pile of teddies. That's her very precious bunny, that's the purple one. It's Lamb, called Lammy, very original, and Pluto. So they have been left in the middle of the floor while she has gone to school. For those of you wondering, she's still not settled brilliantly in school. If you've been watching my vlogs or following me over on Instagram, she's in reception, so she's been in half days for a year and a half on and off thanks to COVID. But she's struggling with full days. She says, "Mummy, it's just too long." So she's still in tears going in, but she's coming out smiling. I'm now going to arrange the cushions on the sofa because I think that makes the place look instantly more tidy. Wouldn't you agree? And instantly cleaner. I do need to move those teddies, not just off the floor, up to Zara's room. Right, into this corner. This corner collects a lot of dust, and because this little pink sofa, you can see under it. Any tumbleweed that goes under there, you can see instantly, which obviously is less than ideal. So I'm just gonna use the pipe bit. There's probably an official term for the pipe bit. I'm gonna use the pipe bit to go into the corners and straighten out the cushions. Honestly, straighten out the cushions, your house looks so much neater. My family thinks I'm nuts, but it's true. It just gives this impression of, look how clean and tidy it is in here, rather than looking a bit haphazard. Now, that vacuum cleaner, I think, is definitely going to need emptying. How much stuff is going to come out of that? Oh, that's quite disgusting. It's sort of satisfying that that much has been sucked up, but then kind of gross that it was there in my house in the first place. So that's the dining room, looking a bit tidier. The kitchen, at least the floor's kind of clean now, not kind of scrub clean, but cleanish, you know, pretty good enough. And that's the lounge now, far less tumbleweed dusty. Heights, which is the audio track from the film. If you haven't seen it, it's a musical. It is the first musical that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote before Hamilton, and it's fantastic. So I have emptied the dryer and the dryer fluff, too busy talking about musicals to tell you what I'm doing on screen. Now to empty the washing machine and then refill the dryer. It's always important to empty the dryer fluff to make your dryer more efficient and to stop it being a fire hazard. So we've got the washing, the drying anyway on. Now I am actually going to go and strip the bed. So I haven't put a load on yet because I've got to go and get the dirty sheets from upstairs and put them in the washing machine, which is why, if you are wondering, I haven't put a load on into the washing machine yet. So what I'm doing at the moment is sorting out the laundry that is clean and has been dumped. Now, in theory, my best self that is organised and has enough time takes the washing directly from the dryer and sorts it into this tier system thing that I've got going. So there's a box for each child. You can see that's Dylan, William, Bella and Zara's, and then the very bottom box is dirty wet washing, like damp stuff that I don't want to go in with my other dirty washing that is dry, if that makes sense. And then myself and my husband have got a box just behind that grey door. So in theory, all of the clean dry washing gets put directly away. In practice, life happens sometimes and I'm in a rush, I'm dashing out to go and get the children or whatever, and I just empty the dryer, dump it in that basket that I'm currently emptying because I need to get another load into the dryer and I run out of time. So then what happens is I have to do this catch up, putting laundry away thing. Now, when those boxes are full, they are given to the children and they put away their own laundry. They do this with varying degrees of independence. The bigger three, who are 17, 9 and 6, can do this totally independently. My 4-year-old does need some help. My 6-year-old needs quite a lot of encouragement and hand-holding, but she's capable of doing it, even though she finds it sometimes emotionally challenging. So I'm just emptying out the children's boxes now to give to them into these baskets so they can take their stuff away. There you go, there's a little one. That's Zara and Bella. Zara's actually taking it the wrong way. Wrong way, baby, it needs to go upstairs. Good, good, that's it. And Will, he's going to take his. I've already dumped Dylan's stuff on his bed because his bedroom's downstairs. Now to strip and change my bed. Now, I always find changing the bed is like a flipping workout. So this is a king size bed. In our last house, we had a super king size bed. We couldn't fit a super king in this house because the room was just that little bit smaller, but it's still quite exhausting to do this process. I always end up getting really hot and bothered. And this time I probably do it every other time. So I'm actually stripping the pillowcase protectors and the mattress protector as well. So I probably do one bed change where it's just sheets and pillowcases and duvet cover. And then the next one, I do all the protectors and things as well. It does keep the pillows much cleaner and fresher. Previously, when I haven't had pillow protectors, the pillows have gone really quite gross. So the pillow protectors do protect them. They also make them that bit fluffier, I guess, because they're quilted. So you probably noticed as I was taking the pillow protectors off, they are zippy ones. I zip them up to stop things getting stuck inside them. And then this is a button-up duvet. So I am buttoning the duvet cover up because it's huge before it goes into the washing machine. Because if I don't do that, I end up losing things like pillowcases inside it and it's a real pain in the behind. So that is all the bed stripped. I'm now going to get a load on. So I've got some of the sprinkly things. I always forget what they're called. They're called scent boosters, that's what they're called. But the name that always comes to mind is sprinkly things, which is not what they're called at all. Scent boosters. So the scent boosters and the pods go in first. And then I stick some of the fabric softener in the drawer. I do like to use all of the same scent when I can, but sometimes I've run out, so I can't do that. So back upstairs, and this is where I store my clean, dry bedding in that Calyx unit in my bedroom. I do have 2 sets of bedding, at least 2 sets of bedding for each bed, so I can put it back immediately. because I really hate having a naked bed. So I mean, technically I could strip the bed, wash it all, and then put it back on. But there's two reasons I don't like doing this. One is because sometimes you get to bedtime, it's not done yet, and then you're exhausted and you can't face it. And I just prefer to have it put back properly. And the second reason for this, it's like my backup system really. If in the middle of the night your children come in and vomit on your bedding or on their own bedding, it's good to have that spare set to be able to change it into immediately. Has this happened to me more than once? Yes, it has. It has happened to me more than once where I've had to change someone else's vomit off my own bedding in the middle of the night. So you're always grateful for a second set of bedding when that happens. You may or may not have noticed, I think this sheet actually belonged to our previous bed. If you can see down the bottom of the screen, it's looking a bit on the baggy side. I think this is because I've still got one Super King white sheet, which I haven't bothered to get rid of, I've just got as a spare. So it's slightly too big for this king size mattress, but you know what? By the time I stuck the duvet on and the throws on, you're just not going to notice that. I did, if you probably noticed earlier, pick up the ottoman bed in order to tuck in the sheet. I find that a little bit easier. I always like anything that makes life a little bit easier. The other thing you're probably going to notice, some of you will judge me for this, and I've talked about this before, but my bedding is super creased because I don't iron bedding. I don't do it. I've got 4 children, I work full time, I don't have time in my life to iron bedding. However, I have got a little cheat, a little hack that I will show you for how I make it look less creased and just look a little bit tidier. So the bottom sheet I'm really not going to worry about because it's going to be underneath all the things. So I'm going to put this duvet on now. This is the bit I find exhausting, to be honest, kind of wrestling everything back together. Stripping it's not too bad, it's putting it back together is getting into more of a workout. I tend to end up having to open the window for a bit of fresh air because I'm all like, whew, I'm warm doing this. So tucking the the duvet into the duvet cover, and we are going to do the little hack very shortly to make that incredibly creased duvet cover just look a little bit less rubbish, really, because at the moment it's not looking the best, is it? It's all been folded up. This is not the kind of thing that I'm going to lose sleep over. In fact, I will sleep very well tonight because one of my favourite things in the world is getting into fresh sheets. It is bliss, especially when they smell really good and you've chosen washing powders and things that you like. Right, I'm going to use a bit of crease releaser. This is a Lenore crease releaser. I have made my own crease releasers before. I have got a blog post, which I will link below, about how to do that if you want to make your own. But basically, I'm just going to spray this crease releaser, which smells just a lot like fabric softener. Then all I'm going to do, once I've given it a good old spray with the window open for a bit of fresh air about the place, is just smooth it out. And once it's all been smoothed out and dried, it will dry nice and flat and decreased. I'll show you when we get there. Anyway, we're on to a bit of glass cleaning now. I'm going to do, for the rest of this power hour, I'm going to focus on glass surfaces around the place so that I've got one product out. There's certain ways I do speed cleaning, depending partly on what needs doing, partly on my mood. I think when you do cleaning, if you've got the whole day, you're doing a whole house speed clean, then great, you can do everything. It is very rare that I have enough time to do a whole house. My cleaning is generally made up of power hours. More realistically than that, it's made up of 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I'm in the bathroom, I'm giving a clean. I'm in, I see something needs cleaning. I always have cleaning products to hand on each floor so that if I see something needs cleaning, I can grab it. I've got things in my bedroom, got things in the bathroom. Anyway, you can go deep and you can deep clean an area. You can go wide and you can do like a surface clean on all around the place. Or you can do what I'm doing now and just choose like a topic or, that's disgusting. Look how gross that is on my husband's side. Ew. So in this instance, I'm choosing glass products because I've got glass cleaner out. So I've got one product out. I'm just going to run around, find all the glass things that need cleaning and clean them. And that's what I'm going to do. So this glass cleaner is the Method one. It smells like mint. It's not as nice a smell as some of the other Method products, but it does smell much better than the other glass products that I've tried. It doesn't smell like vinegar. Now, the reason I'm cleaning all of our little units is because in our bedroom, they've all got this glass protection cover thing on them. So on top of our little bedside tables, on top of that chest of drawers, and on top of my dressing table as well, it has got glass as a protection top on it. And obviously there's glass above in the form of a mirror. So I'm just wiping all of that over. I have a lot of these microfiber cloths, and what I do is just have like a big stack of them, and when one gets a bit damp and mucky, I just kind of chuck it in a pile and grab another one. I used to, years ago, use a lot of kitchen roll, and I just realised it wasn't economical, it wasn't good for the environment, and it was just much easier to just use these microfiber cloths, chuck them in on a hot wash. I was doing cloth nappies anyway. It made a lot of sense to use reusable things to clean with, and as long as you wash them on hot and wash them on long, and then you do not put any fabric softener in with them because it stops them being absorbent, then it's great. So that's the glass surfaces done in my bedroom, and my bed is done. Now, while I've got the glass cleaner out, I'm going to hit another few glass surfaces. So I'm not going to clean the whole bathroom, but I am going to clean this mirror. I often clean the bathroom while I'm in it. So you sometimes see me clean bathrooms in power hours, but more often than not, I clean it just while I'm there. Now this mirror, this really needed a clean. I noticed when I do some of my pictures for Instagram how filthy this mirror was. It's like, I can barely see my own face in this picture because it's so dirty. So this is one of the reasons that glass cleaner was going to be involved in my power hour, because this mirror and also the mirrors in my bedroom were stinking, just covered in handprints and dirt and grime. Now this is a very similar looking mirror to the one we just cleaned, but actually a minute ago we were in the upstairs bathroom, and now I'm in the downstairs bathroom. I'm also going to take this opportunity to refill the antibac that I had downstairs. I have been buying these refill bottles. It works out a bit cheaper, and you don't need to rebuy the trigger spray thing, which is cool. So I'm going to refill that and then just give this sink a little once over. This sink is like a high traffic area in our house because it's a downstairs loo, it's by the front door, it gets used a lot. It's also, if we have any guests, going to be seen by guests. So I do wipe this over probably a couple of times a day, and it gets absolutely filthy disgusting. So this is the wet, dirty washing I was talking about. That's where the cloths and things go, ready to go in the machine. Now, it's been an hour, believe it or not. So the first load has finished. It's time to get another load on. The sprinkly things, which we now know are called, what are they called, guys? I've forgotten again. Scent boosters. Scent boosters and pods are in. We'll get I'm just making sure it's all buttoned up properly. Get the duvet cover in there. Get some fabric softener in. Get the load on, and that's my power hour done. So we're going to start in Zara's room, and oh dear, this room is always the messiest one in the house. There's a lot of storage in here, but it does mean she's only 4. She pulls a lot of stuff out and doesn't always put it away again. And she's just not at the stage yet where she's good at tidying. I'm sure we'll get there. So I'm going to, as always, pop an AirPod into my ear. I only ever use one at a time, so if one goes flat, I can swap it over. The children are not home at the moment, but if they are home, I've got one ear to listen out for them and the other one for listening to audiobooks, music, whatever. And I do find that listening to something, or sometimes I'd have a YouTube video on my phone and then I'd still be able to listen to it on my AirPods. So you could listen to this YouTube video on headphones, for example, while you do your cleaning and tidying. We can keep each other company. So I'm stripping Zara's bed. I tend to alternate. I do the mattress protector every other bed change as a rule. I keep the children's bedding in each of their rooms. This is a habit I got into so that if one of them it's not fun, but if it happens, he's sick in the middle of the night, I've got everything I need within that room without disturbing anyone else in the house to change their bed and put everything back to clean and tidy. It's never fun to be woken up by vomit, but we've all been there, and having the bedding in each room, it also makes it easier, doesn't it? Because let's face it, the stuff being where you need it to be in order to do things like change the beds just saves a bit of time. So we're swapping for Christmas bedding, guys. The children have been asking for their Christmas bedding. I am filming this in November. Our tree has already gone up. There is a little decorate with me video here on this channel if you're interested. The girls have got, I think they've got 2 sets of Christmas bedding. I will link all the bedding and things down in the description. It's actually a blog post I do to go with each video, and in that blog post there are pictures and links to everything mentioned, so take a look at that. I tend to do one with every single video. So the girls' beds aren't too bad to change. I do need to do William's bed later, which is a lot more of a pain because it's a higher bed. So we'll address that later. If hopefully I can fit that in during this power hour. Who knows? It's always hard to judge how much you're actually going to get done, isn't it, during your little power hour. So I've changed the sheets, changed the pillowcases, changed the duvet cover, and now to put all of the teddies back on the bed. That very raggedy looking little teddy in the red dress, it was my first ever teddy when I was little. She's called Penny Bear. Apparently that was the name she was given. She was from Mothercare. Did anyone else have a Penny Bear from Mothercare who is about my age, which is late 30s? So I just wondered if anyone else had them. Totally unrelated to cleaning and tidying, but who knows, did anyone else have one? So the other thing I wanted to ask is how many other people's children are obsessed with having loads of teddies on their bed? Zara loves it. She loves having all her teddies. It does make it harder to clean and tidy, but then if it makes them happy, it makes them happier to get into bed and go to sleep, then great. This little bed next to, not a bed, table. This little table next to Zara's bed, she puts a little drink on it. They sit and do things and play at the little tables during the day. I have just run off now to fetch some cleaning stuff because I've realised it's pretty grim. So I've got some Method Antibac, the rhubarb smelling one, which is lovely. It just smells like sweets. So we can give the table a bit of a clean over because quite frankly, it was just dusty, disgusting. Now, I don't know how much actual cleaning I'm going to get done in this power hour. So far it's been tidying and bed changing. But do you find that when you go to do cleaning, this is my personal experience, you spend so much time tidying and clearing up before you can actually do any cleaning that you don't always have time to do as much cleaning as you would like to do. So for example, you can't clean this room at all because you can't see the floor, so you've got to tidy before you can clean. Is that what you find in your experience too? So some socks, Zara likes pulling out things that she hasn't worn. So those particular socks were just pulled out and left on the floor, but they were clean, so they needed to just go away. I'm not sure how many other people's children like doing this, just pulling clothing out. You've got to play the guessing game of, has this been worn? Should it go in the wash? Or does it need to just go away? My children are not too bad actually at putting things in the wash. The older ones, so of the older 3, Bella is the youngest of the older 3, if that makes sense, and she's 6. So she will put all her stuff in the wash, no problem. Zara's 4, and we're still working on it. She's not, I wouldn't say she's not bad for a 4-year-old. She's pretty good for her age at putting things in the wash, but she still needs lots of encouraging in order to, well, we're not just there, well, she's doing it automatically without encouraging. But I'm confident as my older children do it quite automatically that she'll do the same. The books, they get in a bit of a mess. I love that they've got access to all these books to read, but the problem is when they get tidied up, I ask them to clear the floor, the children, for example, and they'll just shove them back and they're all higgledy-piggledy and then they don't fit properly. So in order to tidy the bookshelf, they just have to pull everything out in order to put it back in neatly. What I do find though, as much as my children do not enjoy tidying their bedrooms, they really love it when they are tidy. And in fact, the tidier their bedrooms are, the easier they find keeping them tidy. So even Zara, who's 4, when this room is really tidy, it will stay tidy-ish for a bit. So she'll take a book and she'll put it back. But as soon as it starts to deteriorate, then, and I find this all over the house, as soon as it starts to deteriorate, then clutter attracts clutter. So people have a little bit less in the way of respect for an untidy place, in our house anyway. So the messier the house is, the more comfortable my family are in adding to that mess. Whereas if it's all largely tidy, they're less likely to dump things in the middle of the floor, sling things in a messy way into the bookshelf. But when things are neat and tidy, Zara will, for a little bit at least, put things back properly, and it just encourages her to do that. And I've got to say, I'm guilty of this. If there is clutter, you don't think twice about adding more clutter to a pile of clutter. And clutter hotspots in homes are a real thing. So for us, we've got the island in the kitchen, and if that is clear, it stays clear. But as soon as there's 1 or 2 things left on there, people just add to it, and then it accumulates until it's a total tip. Now I'm going to fully be very honest with you here. I'm just doing a very surface level because it's a power hour, clean and tidy. What I need to do is another full empty out the drawers, declutter them, put everything back properly, but that's going to have to be a job for another day. I think we have to be realistic in what we can achieve on certain days. Some days it's a power hour to make it just look cleaner and tidier. So that's Zara's castle corner in the corner. So those may look a bit jumbled or messy, but that's where the castles live. The rest of the room, you can now see the floor. I'm calling that progress. The table is a lot clearer. Her bed is made, and you can actually see the surface of that little dressing table-y drawers thing. So I'm calling this huge progress. Now to move into Bella's room, which has got a lot of stuff sort of shoved. The bed needs changing into her Christmas bedding. So I'm going to pull everything off. Much like Zara, Bella is very attached to all of these teddies on her bed, and that's where they have to live. So making the bed each morning is a bit more of a pain. She is better at doing it because she's 6, so she's more likely to actually make the bed without complaining. Don't get me wrong, she still does complain about it sometimes, but she's more likely at that age to just do it quite naturally. So, didn't mention this earlier, but I do like to mention it in every video. Popper up your bedding before you pop it into the washing. Future you will thank you because you won't lose as much stuff inside the bedding. I can't tell you how many times before I started popping up all the bedding, I would find things like pillowcases and stuff that had worked their way into the bedding. It still could happen through little gaps, but it's far less likely to happen when you pop your bedding. So do you do that? Do you popper or button your duvet cover before putting it in the wash? If not, give it a try, see if it makes a difference, report back to me. So this bed is the same bed as Zara's, but we've made it a little bit shorter. It's one of the IKEA ones to fit. Oh my goodness, I've just noticed what I've done. I couldn't find that. I'm going to find that again, aren't I? I have... Did anyone spot the deliberate mistake there? I've got a pillowcase that I've left under the sheet in Bella's bed. I don't think I moved that. I think that's still there. I think after I've finished sorting out this video, I'm going to have to go up to Bella's bedroom and rescue the pillowcase that is under her sheet. Anyway, can't remember what I was even saying now. So distracted by my leaving the pillowcase under her sheet. The bed, right, the IKEA bed. So this is one of those IKEA beds. They do them in various colours. They are adjustable. You can make it shorter than this, or you can make it full length. Now, it looks quite short, but I can actually lie on this bed fully extended with my, knees straight and everything. I mean, I'm only 5'4". I'm not terribly tall, but for Bella, it's plenty big enough and will be for quite some time. I have looked at potentially putting a high bed in here so she can play underneath. The bedrooms in our house are not large, so we try to maximize the storage and things that we have. I'm currently standing on the edge of that bed, by the way. Children, I hope you're not watching this. Don't do this at home. I was just pulling all of the things out of the calyx and looking for extra pillowcases because I'd lost a pillowcase, hadn't I? I was thinking, where's that pillowcase gone? Where's it gone now? Now we know. We all know where it is. It's under this now reasonably neatly made bed. So I'm folding up Bella's blanket. That's got little princess embroidery on it and her name on it, so she loves that. And now it's time to find the other pillowcase that I've just found, not the one I've rescued from underneath, and put that pillow back. I can remember cleaning and tidying this day and going, I'm sure I got a pillowcase out. What did I do with it? Now we know, the mystery has been solved. So this is the Christmas bedding the girls have got, one of them anyway. It's the Ballerina Nutcracker Christmas bedding, and I do absolutely love it. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love pink, I love ballet, and obviously we all love Christmas. So now, Bella's little equivalent table, this is also from IKEA. Just needs a little wipe because quite frankly it's a little bit grim and dusty. Ugh. They do, as they say, sit and play and things, but they put drinks on them next to their beds to go to sleep. They have that little clock, that's the I think it's called the grow clock, so that we put those on each night, and then when the sun comes up, they're allowed to get up out of bed. They know it's actually morning. Now to tidy up Bella's little desk dressing table thingy. This was an IKEA one, but then I bought the drawer knobs, the handles. Handles are a better word than knobs, isn't it? The drawer handles, the pink crystally ones, to just kind of personalise it a little bit. So I really wanted a dressing table my whole life, I think. I don't think I had one till I was in my 20s, so I really wanted the girls to have them, and Will's got a desk in his room, and so's Dylan. So anyway, I always wanted a dressing table. Bella has a dressing table because she's got a swivel chair. When Zara is a little bit older and less likely to do what she would do with a swivel chair at the moment, which is stand on it and then injure herself, we will swap her chest of drawers for a dressing table too. But at the moment, she's a little bit of a liability when it comes to standing on like a swivel chair. So that's Bella's room, just looking a little bit tidier. Tidied up her dressing table, given it a little wipe over. Her bed's been changed. So all this bedding needs to go downstairs now to go in the wash. But first, as I've got this kind of cloth and stuff out, I'm going to do a little wipe around in my bedroom. Now my sheets could do with a change, but what I'm probably going to do is do them tomorrow, because if I do the children's bedding, I actually make my teenager change his own bed because he's more than capable. And when the children are home, I often get them involved in changing their beds, but today they're in school, so I got them to change theirs. Anyway, while I'm just wiping around you and putting a load on, I just want to explain that I try not to change every bed in the house on the same day because it just creates so much washing. By attempting to change beds on different days, it avoids me having just masses and masses of laundry waiting to go in the machine. So now we had to take a break because I had to go and fetch the children from school. So now I've brought the girls up to show them what I've done with their rooms, and they are genuinely pleased. So they're chuffed about the Christmas bedding, but they just kept saying how happy they were that their rooms looked new and tidy. And when I asked them if they were going to keep them tidy, they said they really, really were, which, I mean, I hope so. I have high hopes for it. I'm not holding my breath, but I do think they're more likely to keep them a little tidier, because now tidying their room will be a bit more manageable because it's just tidying a couple of things rather than a whole mess of things. So that's the girls' rooms, the bed's changed, looking a lot tidier. I'm now going to tackle William's room. Now William has been camping, as he calls it, underneath his main bed. So my plan is to turn his chair bed back into a chair, and he can actually sleep on his bed, and then he can use his chair bed as an actual chair. I know. Totally shocking, right? So now to change this high bed. It's not a ridiculous high bed. I think it's referred to as a mid sleeper, but quite frankly, it's still a pain in the backside to change. And it's because I'm only 5'4", but I mean, this is incredibly sped up, isn't it? It did not, I can only wish it took this amount of time. So that is, that is William's room done. That's William's bed changed. But basically, I'm just saying short girl problems. Apparently taller people, I have spoken to taller people and they don't have to climb on the bed the way I had to. And it's a lot easier. So I hope this has given you a little bit of motivation to go and do a little something in your home, even if you've just got an hour. I spent about an hour. I got the 3 beds done. There's a lot of washing now to do. Got quite a lot of tidying done. It's looking a lot better. So thanks so much for watching. Pick a video from on screen now and I'll see you guys over there. Bye.